All right, I think we are on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, finally, the Europa Universalis IV 30 Years War playthrough with me. I'm Chris Wade. Matt Cushbaum here, as always. He will be our Habsburg Lord of Austria. We are with here our guides Ryan, Anthony, and Jack. EU4 experts who have agreed to take us through this insanely complicated game. They will be our lords and our mercenary commanders, executing Matt's highest will. I'm probably not going to say much other than, just chatting with Matt, asking some historical questions, but I will let Ryan lead and Matt take us away. So Ryan, where are we? Where are we with our setup here?
Right. So we're in 1619 right now, and the Bohemian estates have finally found a sucker to name king. Of course, our old friend, one Friedrich von Wittelsbach. So he is in charge of the Palatinate and Bohemia right now. And in addition to him, we also have a Hungarian revolt out in the east. Gabor, Duke Gabor is causing trouble.
Gabor, this guy's up to his old hijinks again. C.V. Wedgwood called him a swarthy little tater in her 30 Years War book.
Yeah.
Running around on his horse, causing fucking ass pains over there, constantly making deals with the Sultan.
Yeah, we can turn him into a tater tot if you'd like. Or
Let's do that.
We
can roast his ass.
Excellent. So we'll turn east first. We thankfully have our Habsburg's cousins in Spain and the Bavarians on our side, so they can hold off Bohemia while we do that. And of course, we have our army under the command of one Wallenstein, our old friend. So we will begin pushing east. And I've noticed that the League War kicks off a little early on this start date, so we might get to see full-blown chaos in the Holy Roman Empire before this ends.
Ooh. Fingers crossed. If I can't snuff out Protestantism in Germany, then just let the whole thing collapse, I say.
Amen.
Yeah, the actual combat is a little like risk, like dice roll based on like if you're defending, all that kind of stuff. But so a little boring, but like
you can't actually go in and set up your tercios and your
your formations.
Yeah, it is a little abstracted, of course, but we'll be doing our best to add some flavor to it. And of course, you can over here you can see our allies and the Bohemians duking it out. Thankfully, not on our territory. And you'll get all sorts of little flavor alerts that aren't too important. Things like
the uniforms suck.
Yeah, uniforms are no good. The peasants are up to no good. Things of that nature. So unless one of you all wants to sees an interesting one that you want to stick on, I'll just click through most of them. Sometimes you'll get special flavor ones for if the Peace of Westphalia turns out to be a Catholic victory, they'll give you a special little prompt for that, which I'll pause on, of course. There we go. We're taking back land.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then the stripes just show contested land. So once we start taking Bohemian land, it'll show white stripes for us.
Now, is the mechanic here that once a certain amount of Hungary is captured or subdued, that their forces will turn into Habsburg forces and add to ours?
They give you a war score, where it's the more territory you take or the more people you kill, the higher that number in the bottom right corner goes, a little 3%.
Yeah,
and the bigger that is, the better treaty you can force out of them.
Great.
But yeah, they don't have too much for capturing other forces or for other mercenaries joining your side. But you can hire your own. But yeah, nothing much for that sort of.
Yeah, the thing about mercenaries is that they you want to build a professional army, and hiring mercenaries erodes the professionalism of your army. So playing as since we're playing to win a bit, mercenaries tend not to be that great unless you're in a real tight spot. But we may need them since we do start in a pretty tight spot.
Big problem with mercenaries is that they don't have any incentive to actually fight. they have every reason to keep their army intact because they literally paid for it. So they don't really have any reason to risk destroying it in pitched battle. So a lot of times those mercenary armies will just sort of march past each other and draw bigger and bigger paychecks from their masters.
Yeah, and we're holding on tight to our gold, hopefully. Actually, well, we might take a little loan.
Yeah, you can see in the top left that 6,500, that's like how many more people we can recruit into our army.
And I clicked through it kind of fast, but the Ottomans warned us as well. Basically sent a little envoy saying, if you declare war on anyone else, we're gonna come in there. And the Ottomans are still
we can't taunt them too much by going too deep into the Hungarian liminal zone.
This won't do anything if we just stick in Transylvania. But if we were to declare war on, like, say, Ragusa, they'd probably go to town over that.
Who cares about Ragusa?
Yeah. Let's see.
At this time, did actual Austria have access to Adriatic Sea? Was Croatia?
Yeah, they had Croatia.
Okay, great.
That's where they got their cavalry, the terrifying Crovatans, who invented the necktie.
And since things have slowed down a bit, I can show a bit around the rest of the world too. Everything, of course, is depicted on here. We've got Persia to the east. Oh my God, that was really early. I've never seen the League War pop that early. Let's take a look at this.
Okay, great.
So yep, chaos just erupted while we were dealing with Bohemia. Yep. So we very suddenly, oh gosh.
Oh boy. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we can do this, but it'll be sort of tight. Hold on to your pants. We may need some mercenaries. We may need some.
So what's going on right now?
So basically, the Protestants, apparently mad that we were beaten up on Bohemia and Transylvania, assembled their league, which you can see in the Holy Roman Empire screen here. You can see the Catholic League here, led by us, the Emperor. We've got Bavaria, a few other guys on our side, all the Catholics, and the Protestants have decided that now is a good time to strike. The Emperor is embroiled in Transylvania, and they wish to carve out a place for Protestantism in the empire.
So that
pretty tough.
And that already includes England and Sweden in it.
Yes. So in the map mode here, you can the red, of course, is the Protestant League, and the green is us and our allies. So we do have Spain on our side, thankfully, which is going to be a huge help. They've already got some of their armies here in Central Europe. But we'll try to close things out quickly with Transylvania. Maybe vassalize them.
Geez, let's make a deal there. My God.
Let's see if they're willing to do something already. Let me see if I can't adjust the zoom thing a bit. Here we go.
Somebody in the chat was saying that there's something that you can run through in subduing Wallachia that will give you access to Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, really? Huh. That might be somewhere in the mission tree. I haven't looked that closely at Austria's mission tree, but once this immediate crisis is over, we can look at
They bake in a ton of like really wild historical events, and they're still like adding. This is like a 10-plus-year-old game now, and they're still adding new like historical figures. And you get a +10 to technology because of Joan of Arc or what the hell ever.
Yeah, and you can start all the way back in like 1444, I think, is the normal start date, and they try to like basically maintain every year between then and like the 1800s of like a relatively like good, like you can start any time in that time, and it's like kind of, it should be relatively accurate to what was happening. It's pretty absurd.
Yeah, we did one of our allies did capture Prague, but they are sieging it right now, so we're wheeling Pappenheim back around and pushing in there. And thankfully, some pretenders rose up to attack the Bohemians. So you know what? We're going to let the pretenders chill there. Player 3 has entered the game. And let's see, let me pause here for a second. Gustav is coming on down from Sweden.
Oh boy,
of course,
here he comes.
Terrifying general.
Ah, jeez.
Oh boy, yep. I'm actually not going to leave Pappenheim's army out in the cold here.
All right, so let's look at some force numbers and just where they are while we're paused. So what, we got 20,000 Swedes coming down through Poland?
Yep, 20,000 Swedes there. They're coming straight down through Silesia. We've got our 15,000 under Pappenheim right here. And Wallenstein just won his siege in Transylvania, so we're going to bring him up to reinforce through the Carpathian Mountains. And hopefully Gustav does not hit this army in Vienna here. I'm going to move behind the fort just in case. I don't see where he's gone. Up there he is. He's still in Poland.
Yeah, and then those red, black, and white with the 18 and 7K there. Those are like rebels that, yeah, they're not really on either side. They're sort of like localized rebels. So if we wanted, they can take stuff, but it's not necessarily good for us either.
You got to deal with them.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, so I think the Transylvanians will kick. Yep, they'll fall over now. We can vassalize them, I believe. Will it not let us do it? Oh no, I think they're a subject already, so it won't let us do it. So in that case, we'll just pillage their capital, take some reparations, take some money, and send them on their way. They got off easy this time, I think.
A little rap on the nose.
Yeah.
You cheeky buggers.
But we have our full army here now. We're going to reinforce that 8 bits. I'm actually going to look at some mercenaries as well. Try to find the cheapest
So
one.
yeah, the mercenaries in the game are they're more or less like a normal army. They don't really have any, they don't actually they kind of just do what you actually tell them, but they are very expensive. You actually have to pay them.
We have looming.
They do listen to you pretty well.
Oh.
Although, isn't there an event that says they keep pillaging the grounds and you got to choose either paying them more or everyone in that territory hating you for the next 50 years?
Yeah, I've gotten that one before. It can definitely backfire.
That's if you make the mercenaries live off the land.
Yeah, let's put Wallenstein in charge of the mercenary army. He seems appropriate, and we'll put Pappenheim in charge.
They're translating Bibles. I just saw there was an event. They're translating Bibles. That's not good. We don't want that. Can we press a button to stop them from printing the Bible in the Vulgate, please?
I did my best, but I think we're a little late on that one.
Fuck. God damn it. They're going to read it, and then they're going to go crazy. They're going to think God is talking directly to them and not through the mediating institutions of every other person in their life.
Just to give you how
no brain can hold that. No, stop it.
There literally is a variable that tracks this reform desire, and every time a Catholic monarch does something fucked up, it ticks up by 1%. So they got you covered there.
I played this board game the other week called Here I Stand, and I played as the Protestants in that one, and each faction has different win conditions, and one of the ways that you can get basically like victory points as the Protestants is, spending your power capital into translating Bibles over a series of turns, and like once you've put enough like Bible translation tokens to get a Bible in German vernacular, French vernacular, English vernacular, you get some victory points.
Yeah, we just won a crushing victory there, thankfully. The Portuguese came in just in time. So what I'll do is I'll push on Heidelberg, and we'll try to get Friedrich out of the war. Take a little bit of Bohemia for ourselves as well.
Get a little nibble.
Yeah, this was a very exciting beginning. Usually you do get a few years before things go really off.
Nah, man, I want to fucking pop off.
Hell yeah,
going for it.
So, what's your your suppression strategy, Matt, of the Protestant League?
Oh, okay. So we got our guys. We got Gustavus in the north. We got Frederick. I guess we should probably do what we should have done at the beginning and what Ferdinand in real life actually did do, which was go for Frederick and reclaim the Bohemian crown.
Yeah, I think with the Spanish and Portuguese help, we can push back far enough in Bohemia and the Palatinate that we can carve out most of Bohemia. That should be doable. Although I am seeing that. What we got here? Okay, no Sweden, thank God.
Yeah, where are the Swedes at right now?
They're hanging around somewhere up north. I'm actually not totally sure where they went, and I'm very worried about that because if Gustav comes out of the shadows, we're in for a rough one.
It took him a while to really secure a allied force once he landed. It was not like there was an instantaneous rush to, in real life anyway, to Gustav's banner among the Protestant northern princes. They were like, "No, you would just be a Protestant version of Ferdinand. Fuck off."
So yeah, they dicked around
in a while.
In Pomerania
really
for.
Yeah, they just hung out in Pomerania for like a year. But the sack of Magdeburg definitely helped recruit for Gustav.
Yeah, and it kind of in the game and sort of the actual war, the Swedish army is like really powerful. Like aside from maybe like the Ottomans or something, like they're significantly better.
They were military pioneers. They would bring out these small, very mobile cannons, and then just intersperse them with their infantry position. And sometimes they were like just bound by leather, like that's how jerry-rigged they were. But if they basically acted as giant shotguns, and were just a infantry multiplier. Nobody had thought to do that.
You got to imagine that a bunch of the Swedish infantry just got blown up by those things.
Yeah,
like when your Swedish admiral like rolls up a tiny leather-bound cannon right next to you, and he's like, "We're gonna start shooting these right next to you."
Yeah, it's gonna blow up and kill a bunch of people, no question. And the thing is, like, there are of course people who say that that's overblown and that like that strategy was not definitive. But if you take it with all the other stuff they were doing, it created this unprecedented military force, and the Prussians are really the ones who will end up inheriting that strategy. If you talk about it in terms of like like a game like EU, like the Swedish went with military points, and that's what the Prussians ended up inheriting. And fittingly, part of Prussia is the old Pomeranian coast that the Swedes had claimed initially after the war. And then Frederick the Great creates just an unprecedented military force. Even though there's like 2 million people in Prussia, he's got this 200,000 person army that's capable of carrying off incredible feats of organization and battlefield coordinated action that nobody else had ever seen before.
Like a fifth of the population of Prussia in the middle of the 18th century is organized or is purely part of the military.
Yep, and they would just scoop the farm boys off of the land and then throw them in the army and just beat them until they figured out how to fucking do a drill.
Which is what they were
like, do a right wheel, or an enfilade or whatever.
So remember how I was talking about Gustav coming out of the shadows?
Yeah. He's doing it, isn't he?
Yep. Right,
God damn
it. So we're reinforcing him right now, but things are looking a little grim.
Fucking God.
And oh boy, they've got another 14,000. This might be. Oh, there we go. Whew. He bolted. He saw the reinforcements.
When you fight at your own fort, you get a pretty solid defensive advantage.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, bitch. That's right. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing, Gustav. Hey, where's the Vasa at, bitch? Oh, it's at the bottom of the fucking bay, huh? That's cool.
That is one of the coolest museums I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely. I've been there. Highly recommend the Vasa.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The thing that always sticks with me, I said this on the show, is they would analyze the bones of the sailors who came with the ship when they pulled it out of the ocean, and like the amount of malnutrition, missing bones and limbs and teeth. It just sucked, man.
The thing that really stuck with me is they talked about how they retrieved the cannons after it sank because that was like the valuable part of the ship.
Yeah.
And they had those like giant diving bells where you're basically in pitch black and just submersed under the water in a little bubble, and you have to try and like pull a cannon out. I don't know. It seems insane to do in like the 1600s. Like
It's wild.
The stuff they got up to in the past. I mean, even just like circumnavigating the globe in like the mid 1500s in a wooden boat.
The some of the engineering feats of the 30 Years' War are really impressive. From the Siege of La Rochelle, where the French built this seawall to cut off the harbor, and in the Siege of Antwerp, the Spanish built this 2,000-foot-long pontoon bridge called Farnese's Bridge. The Dutch,
the Dutch water line, which I alluded to.
Line.
But like the fact that they had built a defensive fortification around the core parts of Zeeland and Holland, basically where like Amsterdam is and the surrounding territories in the Netherlands, and then had it all rigged up so that on a specified command it would like flood basically a moat, wide enough that it would be impenetrable by an invading force, like a controlled flood of thousands and thousands of thousands of kilometers of space, all on the Stadtholder's command. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, insane. Speaking of incredible stuff, Friedrich has been soundly defeated. So
yes.
I'm thinking what we can do is I don't believe we'll be able to take Silesia. That might require a little more commitment. We can push harder if you'd like, but we can take Bohemia proper and maybe get some reparations out of it as well if you're down for that.
Oh yeah, let's get Bohemia back.
Excellent.
When Ferdinand in real life defeated Frederick and reclaimed Bohemia, the expropriation of the Bohemian aristocracy that followed was like the biggest one-time land transfer in European history. Like the entire country changed hands overnight, and then he doled it out to favorites who often bought it with Kippergeld, including Wallenstein.
It's free real estate.
It is free real estate.
It literally is. You used a bunch of fucking funny money to just buy at auction these expropriated estates, which really speaks to one fundamental element of capitalism, which is that it fills the cracks created by the breaking up of like power regimes. Because if you've got this stable landowning class, they're going to be resistant to the sort of change that the capital holders who are going to buy that land from the emperor would do. And so you see this intensification of industry on the lands that transfer hands after crisis and after conflict and after the destruction of the aristocracy there. Except, fascinatingly, in Spain, because Spain languishes so long and resists bourgeois encroachment for so long that when it finally comes in the 19th century, the bourgeois buy out the aristocracy, and the Catholic Church's lands are liquidated and sold to the bourgeois. The bourgeois who take the rural lands of Spain start acting like aristocrats and just spend all the money on sangria and paella and sitting out in their verandas and rubbing their stomachs with olive oil and going out and hunting the peasants on horseback. It's like there was just nothing to push the process into the countryside. And so the bourgeois ended up getting conquered by the land there.
And we are doing very well in this league war so far. We've already forced
Hell yes, fuck off.
Yeah, we forced a small few states to renounce Protestantism, and I'm thinking this will be a pretty complete victory for Catholicism. One issue I think we might run into is that Britain loves to hang in this war too long. They hang on their island and they're like, no, we won't do peace. We won't give you the victory. So I might build.
Of course,
a few
that's
ships.
always the case. Those fucking dickheads. Tell it to
down,
Napoleon and Hitler.
I might build a few ships and try to like do a little Team 6 scenario on Britain if you're down for that.
Yeah, no, we need to fucking humble these bitches. Like
Excellent.
that regime, as much as we know from our vantage point, that regime is much less stable than it thinks it is.
Yeah, what is
that's a house of
religious
cards over there that
like
the Stuarts have built.
So yeah, the yellow is all the Catholic territory now, and then
Yep. There we go. And yep, you can already see we're starting to push the Protestants
Blue
back
is
a bit.
Protestant, and there's some Reformed, but
Oh yeah.
In the comments, someone points out that yes, the Basque Country, by like the Spanish Civil War, the only fully industrialized part of Spain, like that had moved to industrial production from textiles, was the Basque Country, because that's some rocky ass land up there. They didn't have, they couldn't build the big estates that ended up dominating the south of the country.
Which is also why they pour their wine into Coca-Cola, because they got modernity a little first. They have more modern tastes. And you know what? That is a good treat.
Nationalism is such an enduring and powerful social formation, because they did hold that society. Like even after the Spanish Civil War starts, and there's the social revolution, in Catalonia and Aragon that even reaches to Madrid. None of that nonsense in the Basque Country. The bourgeois nationalists in firm control. They allied tactically with the left because they believed the left would give them autonomy, but they never had a social revolution in the Basque Country. And the other Basque countries, the ones who weren't in the cities, the ones who had kept their small their farms, the small holders holding onto their little rocky patches, they were the core of the Carlist reactionaries. The guys with the red berets who came out of the mountains to strangle the Second Republic in the crib. But no socialism there for that very reason.
Ryan, what is the outlook of Bavaria and Saxony here?
Bavaria is
who's still in the war with the Protestants?
Yeah, is Maximilian is he backstabbing me? Is he? Can I trust this asshole?
It actually looks like Maximilian died, and
fuck him.
There's a regency for his 6-year-old son. Maybe he died in battle.
This is very good news, because Maximilian, one of the low key, one of the biggest pains in Ferdinand's ass throughout the war is the fact that fucking Maximilian is making his own play long term for power within the empire, willing to ally with the fucking frogs to do it, making a deal a mutual deal with the French not to attack or be attacked by Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Bavaria does have a tendency to peace out early.
So let's dom the hell out of this kid. Let's just bitch this kid out, turn him into a punk for us.
Oh yeah, we might have to wait until after the war for that. I can't make too many enemies at a time, but we'll put in the long-term plans.
Yeah,
well, we gotta get some Jesuits over there. Ooh, yes, send Jesuits to tutor him. Send my Jesuit army. The thing is that the Protestants had this paranoia about a Jesuit plot to overturn the Reformation. It's like, kinda. What do you call it when they send Jesuits into a town that's recently been retaken for Catholicism and starts putting on the Passion plays and holding the festivals and doing all the fun stuff that the Lutherans had stamped out? Isn't that imperialism? That's soft power projection? What do you call that?
That's
and they were tutoring the heads of Europe, the children of the Catholic monarchs were being taught by Jesuits who were telling them it was their God-given duty not to make a deal with Protestantism, but to wipe it out. Ferdinand was part of that tradition. Send a goddamn Jesuit to train this kid so that I can lash him to my will.
There's actually a lot of mechanics like that revolving around tutors and Crusader kings. Like if you get a bad tutor, they'll corrupt your heir and try to pull power plays. It's very cool.
It is wild, that Alexander the Great's tutor was fucking Aristotle.
All right,
it seems too on the nose. It's kind of the way that Johann Kepler made Wallenstein's astrological chart.
So Gustav saw me talking and used that opportunity to send 40,000 men on Pappenheim's 10,000. So Pappenheim might be in some trouble here.
Oh no, my boy, Scarred Heinz. Not my Scarred Heinz, my favorite general of the war. I just imagined him with an eye patch for some reason, even though I know he didn't have one.
He looks like you should imagine him as Victor Zsasz from the Batman things, just a scar in him for every victim.
If anybody saw the Preacher, or if anybody read the Preacher comic, the guy with the eyeball, the bad guy.
Yes. Hair Star, right?
Hair Star. That's how I think of Pappenheim.
Oh, man. When I was in ninth grade.
A wound suffered for every year spent as a heretic.
When I was in ninth grade, Preacher was about the coolest thing in the universe.
Oh, absolutely. Garth Ennis was the epitome of cool. The only comic book I've ever collected, and I have every issue, is Hitman.
Didn't they do a Preacher TV show not too long ago?
And it was terrible.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
Darling, it was trash.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, whose taste I usually like, tried to make it like whimsical rather than.
I just think that honestly, the moment had passed because like that Enos sensibility is foundational to the current moment, but like we've moved past it in many respects.
You could have done it around the time they did like Constantine in 2004, when you could
Yes,
still
it
have
would have
that
been
like
amazing.
piss yellow neon green aesthetic.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I saw James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and I was like, it's okay. It's better than most of these movies. I just put myself like, what if this had come out in 2008 and you'd seen it in a theater? You would have had your ass blown away. You would have been like, this is amazing. This is adult comic book material done smart and irreverent or whatever the hell.
Imagine if
now
Deadpool,
you just want to kill yourself.
Imagine if Deadpool had come out the same year that like Knocked Up came out.
Right. Yeah.
People would have 20-year-olds like myself would have been having seizures in the street.
Yeah.
They love
I
to
also
do, like,
really liked
ultra
Ennis's
serious stuff.
World War II comics. He had a very appropriate for the era. This is when everyone got fixated on the World War II generation. The last Americans with a mission, that fucking succeeded. So like just like Spielberg, he had this World War II obsession. So he had this anthology of World War II tales, like Sergeant Rocks type stuff. That was cool too.
So while I wasn't looking, we did have a guy split off Nitria, off in the Carpathian Mountains. We can reconquer that. I'm not. I might have left a province unconquered or something. I got distracted by the League War.
Understandable.
Yeah.
These things happen. I think we could put it on the back burner for now.
Yeah, how many Protestant nations are still in the fight?
Not as many.
Wow.
I've been piecing out a few and converting them in the process. So
You're doing great.
With that bitch Beer George.
Saxony?
yeah.
Yeah, what are the Saxons?
The Saxons? Yep, we kicked their teeth in. They're done.
Goddamn right.
Beer George is now a Catholic.
Fuck yes. Huge W there.
That means Wittenberg is probably re-Catholicized.
Oh God, can you imagine? Oh, just send the Jesuits in there. Just crumping in Lucas Cranach's studio. They're going into the Cranach works like fucking Joker into the museum in Batman. They're playing Party Man, slashing up all the Luther portraits.
Did not Beer George, but the Lector Frederick the Wise under Luther, did his relic collection never get destroyed or disseminated?
Honestly, I don't know. Fuck, I should know that. If anyone knows, let me know. What happened to the relics? I mean, I'm assuming at some point they were donated to the church. I don't know if they're still in Wittenberg though.
Apparently, one of Beer George's descendants in Saxony created this gorgeous room with like a diamond encrusted sword and such. And it was the target of one of the largest ever treasure heists in modern history. They stole like 100 million worth of gold and treasure and the sword too, and they didn't recover all of it apparently. Quite remarkable.
That's cool.
Taking a
by the way, someone's saying, "Oh no, we should save Descartes by invading Sweden." Bad news. Descartes in this version of the 30 Years' War, he's dead already. He died in battle. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Blaise Pascal. He took a fucking pike to the dome. That's not true. He died of diarrhea in camp.
R.I.P.
He doesn't think, therefore he is not.
One of the funny mechanics of the game too is if you have like a shitty king but a good heir, you can make him a military general and send him into battle, and
hopefully gets killed.
Every once in a while they just die, and you can just
be able to send him out to sea and have the ship sink and get the good heir or kill off a bad general. But I think they patched that out. They swim back to shore now.
Ryan, how many hours would you say you have in this game? I am pretty at awe with like how quickly you're able to manipulate this.
I've been playing since EU3. So God, I don't even really want to count. It's too many. Probably a few thousand at this point.
Right. It's one of those things that's just ingrained into your body. I mean, I've tried to play EU4 a little bit, and I find it way overwhelming. I've never gotten to the point where I'm feeling like I'm actually making things happen in the game that reflect what I'm trying to get to happen.
Yeah, it does feel like trying to hammer fucking fried eggs to the wall.
Yeah, it's a lot. Typically, what I'll do when I'm trying to learn a game like this is like look for a video of someone good playing it, right? Someone who knows what they're doing, and like look through their like flow as they go through the first few hours of the game. Like, oh, that's what I need to do. Oh, that's how so and so goes. I think that's how I first learned EU3 way back in the day.
I only really learned the game once I had a kid. Was staying up till 5 every night with one hand feeding the baby. Because you can pause any time, baby.
And see, she'll know how to play too. It's a win-win.
Do you think in the future we could play one where we start as Charles V? Because I have an idea for how he might have stopped Protestantism from happening.
Oh, definitely.
Delayed its significance.
Yeah, we could do that. We could start right at the dawn of the Reformation at some point.
Because I feel like you're risking a real collapse of your Ottoman flank if you kill Martin Luther at Worms. But I kind of wonder if you could pull it off. And here's the big one, though. Here's the thing I want to do. I want to tell the Pope to grant Henry VIII's annulment. Because if you don't have that, maybe he doesn't convert.
I'm not sure you can get quite that granular, but we can make some stuff happen. I'm sure we can.
I was like, I had my mailed arms around the Pope's throat all through that debate. That's why.
Oh yeah, we could just kick the Pope's door down and conquer Rome.
That is, however,
I mean, we could take that accidental sacking and turn it into an intentional one.
That is, however, Matt, a mechanic that you could work out in that Here I Stand game.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Bartering with the Pope to grant Henry VIII's annulment for, deals with the Pope.
Yeah, because I feel like that really, because Henry had no personal connection to the Reformation. He saw it in terms of as a challenge to the existing religious understanding. He saw it as heretical. He thought that of course priests need to be celibate. Of course the sacraments are holy. What are you talking about? If he didn't have that goddamn heir issue, maybe he never bothers. I mean, the lure of all those church lands was going to get somebody eventually, but maybe in a different context. Because like I said, the Spanish did eventually expropriate the church's land. It just took till the 19th century.
A whole bunch of the HRE gameplay in like the 1500s before all this nastiness kicks off is just like trying to boost imperial authority, and that means spawn camping basically wherever the Reformation happens, so you can immediately run and force them to convert.
Yeah, it pops up and you're like, bam, nope, not happening.
It can pop up in random places too. Like it's not always Martin Luther, I guess.
Yeah, playing a Holy Roman Empire game from the start before the Reformation is very fun because there's a whole thing you can go through where you can consolidate the empire and you reform it, and eventually you'll get to cast aside all the petty dukes and counts and rule as the absolute emperor, which is very cool. It's a fun game to play.
And then there was peace on earth and Christ returned in glory. I mean, if there was going to be Christ's return, that was what was going to bring it about. And as soon as that was over, it doomed us to damnation.
I mean, what is the Christ's return campaign you would play in this? Is consolidate and maintain the authority of the Holy Roman Empire over the Holy Roman Emperor over the Holy Roman Empire.
Absolutely.
And then proper marshaling of Crusader forces
That's
to
right, baby.
bring down the Holy Land and exert.
Holy war to the end with the fucking Turk.
In the Paradox game that I'm imagining, in which the end goal is to bring Christ's return back, I think what the win condition is having consolidated Holy Roman Empire with a Holy Roman Emperor who is also the King of Jerusalem.
Yes,
there is. I think there's an achievement for starting as Rhodes and reforming Jerusalem, or maybe it's Cyprus, starting as Cyprus, which I want to say was the last Crusader kingdom at the start of the game, and going back and reconquering Jerusalem and forming the kingdom. There's all sorts of stuff like that you can do.
Who's in control of Jerusalem right now? If we can take a
Ottomans, yep,
you goddamned Ottomans.
Yeah, they're sprawling down there.
No, a cleansing and total conflict, civilizational conflict, an entire belief, an entire community of believers united in purpose.
You get to bring back Rome, dude. If you go all the way around the Mediterranean, you literally get to rename yourself SQPR.
Yep. Sorry, buddy. We're back. Roman Empire. In reality, as we know, as all us good dickheads know, the empire never ended. And we still have it, but we have this techno hell, geo hell version of it.
Capital just keeps moving west,
like a Gothic imperium.
At the very earliest start date, Byzantium is hanging on by a thread, and if you know what you're doing, you can bring it back and push back the Turks. I've done it, I want to say once or twice, but it's very tenuous. Like, you got to get a little lucky, you got to have some boats in the right place, but it's a very fun game to reform Rome as Byzantium.
Richard Champion's doing that right now. Shout out.
Oh man,
I like that you said 40 turns ago, like, oh, it looks like Nitria, we didn't fully conquer it, let's just leave it there, and now all of northern Hungary is Nitria.
Yeah. I forget exactly how it works, but I think we left one province controlled by rebels, and since they had one province, they just declared, oh, yep, we're Nitria now. We get the whole thing. Since we left the vacuum.
See, that's the thing that I do know about this game, Matt, is that like all of these like little small provinces are knit together in a feudal alliance, so it's like you do have to manage up and down streams.
Right, you got to deal with all along the vassal chain.
Yeah, exactly. And whoever has the most feudal authority, vassal authority of any given region can just like claim de jure power over the whole region. Somebody spent a lot of time thinking about it, putting this game, history, and putting this game together.
It's kind of insane to me that we might see like this iteration of human civilization, if not extinguished, then brought to a epochal rupture. And when you look back and you go, what the hell happened? It'll really come down largely to the fact that Europe is shaped weird. It's as simple as that. Europe, as geography, defeats central authority in a very unique way.
Oh, no.
Yep, Ferdinand just kicked the bucket. He died a bit early.
Oh, jeez. R.I.P.
Yep, he had a heart attack or something, and now we have a better heir, thankfully.
The good news is we saved so much money on all the repainting of the signs and everything, because you just got to add another Roman numeral in there, baby. Ferdinand III.
And we've got his son.
He's pretty good too.
His son is another Ferdinand. I hear he's like a racehorse driver or something.
Yeah. Ferdinand III, a more worldly, a less religiously dogmatic man than his father, because he'd grown up during a time when all religion meant was bloody, horrifying warfare.
Although he may have changed his mind now that we're winning pretty solidly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, maybe we can actually win this thing.
There's also
because I am better than Ferdinand was. That's right.
There's honestly a lot of parallels between Charles I and Charles II and Ferdinand II and Ferdinand III. They have. I mean, it makes sense because they're basically like generational mirrors. But the inflexibility that dogs Charles and Ferdinand II is shorn off by time you get to Ferdinand II and Ferdinand III and Charles II.
Yeah, because
which allows them to make a deal.
this gets to something. This gets to a real fundamental feature of like how power and knowledge flow that Thomas Kuhn explicated in his book about how scientific revolution works. And he says there is no people don't change their mind over time as they expose themselves to new ideas. No, one group of people who believe a thing die, and then a new group who were exposed to different things come in with a new understanding. And that's how power works too. Like the world that Charles I and Ferdinand II were trying to defend was something that their kids did not experience. So they didn't even know they were losing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they could make a deal in a way that their dads couldn't.
Gustav has remarkably, he's disappeared now, but he was down in Milan, conquering it from the Spanish.
What?
He made quite a detour. Yep, and here he is now. He's coming up through the Alps now, and he is heading into Bavaria.
He's doing. He went down. How the hell did he get his boats to do a naval invasion of Milan, and then come up through? My God,
He
not
might have-
since Hannibal.
Yeah, he just needs some elephants now.
This is a coup de main of all time.
Now he's just going straight back up to Sweden.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's wearing a
Just
he's just
running up
cutting-
and down the continent.
He's just cutting a swath through the country.
Yeah, I want to see if I can catch him with Wallenstein. He's got a pretty small army. He's lost a few men.
Yeah, I bet.
He's basically playing out how the Swedes actually did: is run down to the south, except they lose Wallenstein, and then just raid a tangentially related city, and then head back north with their loot.
Yeah, they would just. It was all after Adolphus dies. It's just raiding parties, really.
We do have allies dropping off. They're changing their mind. They're making their peace. And let's see how many people we have left. We still have Spain on our side, but if and when Spain ditches, we might be looking a little tight here. The issue is we'll probably need to get to Britain in order to enforce Catholicism in the empire, which is annoying. Honestly, it's a limitation of the game mechanics. And I think we might be able to sneak an army onto Britain with our growing fleet here, but not totally sure.
Could you grab some territory up north? Might be a shorter cut.
Yeah, that might be the way to go. I'm not sure if it'll let me. Yeah, actually, maybe from Pomerania. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Or we could take Amberg. Let's see.
Another run I had
Brandenburg
an idea to do was to see if I could be the most serene Venetian Republic and try to hold on to capitalism instead of letting it slip through my fingers.
Yeah, Venice is a fun game as well. You get to dominate the Mediterranean. There's a whole like trade subsystem as well that we won't like. It's not as much of a focus in an Austria game necessarily, but as Venice, you can like dominate trade and control the Mediterranean, and beat the Ottomans back. It's very cool.
Yeah, another
Don't
cool
want
one
to
is
let those the flavorless Mayo boys in the fucking Low Country jack our swag after we did so much.
the Hanseatic
so much,
League exists in the game, and you can like form a country out of the Hanseatic League. It's kind of fun too.
The Republic of Hans.
Oh, hell yes. The Hansa Republic. Fuck yes. We didn't really get into it in the podcast, but there's actually a fascinating abortive reformation in the Venetian Republic during the 1500s, where like there are a couple of Catholic prelates in Venice going like, you know what? They make a few good points. These the German barbarians, the Huns, they make a few good points. We got to admit.
Yeah, and remarkable thing about Venice too is that they had assembly line, like maybe not quite industry, but like actual like standardized assembly lines for their ships, which is part of the reason why they were able to dominate the Mediterranean for so long. They could put out these very consistent ships in huge quantities, and people say Henry Ford did that, but nope, Venice did it 400 years earlier.
That time when they got besieged by the Genoese, and then they just like they were eventually able to like outflank the fucking besiegers and besiege them? Just turn the tables? Impressive stuff.
So can you even call a peace with the Protestant League in the Holy Roman Empire, but leave war open with England?
England is the war leader right now. Basically, in the way the mechanic works is that in any given war, you'll have like war leaders that do the big scale negotiations. For the entirety of the alliance, you can piece people out separately, of course, but for the big war goal of making the Catholicism rule in the empire again, like I can even show it to you here. You need to go through Britain, which is kind of a shame. I was hoping Britain wouldn't be the leader of the religious league, but
you always have to end up dealing with the godless, fucking perfidious, motherfucking Albionese the Bog Creek shot. There's a section in Hilary Mantel's first Henry VIII book where Cromwell's what do you call it? Mentor. What the fuck's his name? The guy. Wolsey.
Cardinal Wolsey.
He says like England is the English are the descendants of a bunch of women who murdered their husbands and fled to a bog to have sex with giants.
Amen.
Really, if this game was historically accurate, well, honestly, France should probably be the war leader at this point.
Yeah, the French seem suspiciously out of it here. Like,
and one of the games I ran before the stream to make sure everything was running smoothly, I had a league war where not only France, Britain, and Scandinavia and Germany and all that joined, but the Ottomans were like, this looks pretty good. We'll get on this Protestant League thing. And they rolled me. It was embarrassing. I was like, oh God, if this happens on stream, we're gonna
good old Abraham Scultetus, the Calvinist house theologian for Frederick V, wrote about how, if you look at it, there's a lot of features of Islam that have in common with Protestantism. They're not maybe so different as we think they are.
Yeah, what are the Ottomans up to during the 30 Years' War?
Fighting, strangling each other's emperors, blinding them, having like guys who were like dethroned, put on house arrest until they went insane, and then put back on the throne. They were racked by the same crisis conditions as Europe, so they weren't really able to do much by the way of offensive stuff.
Here's Gustav again. He showed up in Bremen this time, and he's fighting Wallenstein. I think we might be on the back foot here. I'll see how this battle plays out, and if that's bad roll. Yeah, we're losing this one. I'm taking off.
Is Breitenfeld happening in Bremen now?
Yeah, he just kicked our ass pretty much. So we're taking off. Yeah, Gustav is taking some names here.
Is that the first major engagement with Gustav and the Habsburg forces?
He caught us close to Danzig as well. When I was looking away, he popped up and took out a good portion of our army. So he's been up to no good.
Fucking guy.
If only he had died instead of Maximilian.
Yeah, seriously.
Is Sweden in a union with Denmark at this point, or is it that's been broken?
No, they're right. Oh yeah, in the game, I don't know. Yeah, in IRL they were broken up.
So yeah, so they're definitely broken up. Although of course Denmark does have Norway at this point. They stayed united, but Sweden did go their own way.
I'm gonna take a short break for a snack and a beverage. I'll be right back.
Oh, my poor precious Tercios, they're getting owned. Look at that guy.
Yeah,
you got a little friar waving around with his cross. Adorable.
Yeah, a lot of mercenaries have met their end in this war.
What is the body count? You've probably got to be insane by now, right?
Yep, let me take a peek real quick. It looks like, oh my God, they've lost 300,000 troops, and we've 300,000 on each side. So we're pushing a million casualties so far.
About 80K each for diarrhea count.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they love dying of diarrhea.
And Gustav has found some friends as well. He's back up to 30,000, and he's parked in Laurenburg next to the Portuguese army. So I'm gonna sit there as well in case he makes a move. Yeah, what a pain in the ass. I wonder if he would be open to... Hey, they are actually open to white peace. Gustav, is that enough? If you want, Matt, we can keep going on Sweden.
Oh no, let's make a deal.
Yeah, but they seem content to withdraw at this point in time. Thank God.
Yeah, go back to fuck some seals. Go freeze your ass off. Good luck trying to hold on to new Sweden, you fucking losers.
Oh yeah, I wonder if we can see the New World at this point. Yeah, but it doesn't look like Sweden has. Yeah, nope, hasn't gotten there quite yet.
Day late and $1 short for the Swedes. Sorry guys, just not gonna be able to pull it off.
Yeah, pieced out the Danish as well, which leaves us with only Britain, Pomerania. Yeah, we not many left. Yeah.
If you white peace Britain, you'll still get to enforce.
Yeah.
Catholicism in the empire.
Wait, really? Like you'll be able to like do the thing where you can demand that states turn Catholic? Really? Huh?
Oh no, okay. I'm not sure. I was asking. Yeah.
No, because we're the leader, so we got to get them to 50%.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be tedious
brutal,
at best.
Yeah.
If you win this war, you get to Catholicism reigns supreme. You get to demand that states turn Catholic via diplomatic means, and you get to go to war with them if they don't. But I'm gonna shoot our fleet at Britain, see what happens once we clean up in northern Germany.
Does Spain still have their fleet out, or like most of?
Yeah, how are
Britain
my fucking gold bricking ass Spanish relations doing right now?
Yeah, I don't know what the Spanish are doing. You might imagine that they would attack the British fleet.
Yeah, they've got a couple armies up there.
They seem content to just save their ships.
Over there, can we make a deal? Can we talk to our guys? They're literally our cousins. Let's have a family reunion and say let's coordinate this.
Part of it is that the AI is sort of bad with ships, and because we don't have enough religious unity, we are also heading towards a disaster, which is a little annoying. I might have to shoot. Yeah. Oh well, we'll worry about that later. Disaster, internal conflicts, no big deal.
That's fine.
What's the worst that could happen?
Amen. And we can force Catholicism on the Pomeranians pretty soon here too.
Hell yeah, you sandy fucks.
It seems like we can piecemeal purge the prots from pretty much every remaining country on the other side. But unless we make that naval invasion happen, we might stalemate the big one.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really win the 30 Years' War.
Yeah.
If you get to enlarge the zone of Catholic influence, you've done something at least.
Yeah, we're at 1633 now, so it's already been going for 15 years.
Yeah. So I think the play might be then to convert Pomerania, Hamburg, all these little remaining German states that declared war, and then just take basically the Peace of Westphalia, as it happened historically.
I mean, it's a pretty good run if we can get the Peace of Westphalia by like 1635.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, not too bad.
And if you destroy your country, throwing your head against the Brits for another 50 years, also not a bad run.
Yeah. But I am a little worried about the Ottomans too, because at any point here, I don't think they will now, because I think they're occupied in Africa. They're up to some stuff there. Oh no, they finished that. But yeah, they could go head first into us at any point here. So speed might be the wiser option here.
All right, let's make a deal.
Yeah, these Pomeranians should be willing to become Catholic at any point here. That's a pretty good air. This is a cool event. Should he bang or should he hang out?
What does it? I can't really read it. What does it say?
Oh, so basically, our rulers go into a party, and either he can greet a woman and get a new heir, and a pretty good one at that, or he can greet a guy and get a new advisor, a new spy master.
Let's secure the heir and let's get busy.
Excellent. There we go.
There's going to be low legitimacy though. Going to start with 30.
Yeah, but
Ferdinand IV, though, is our heir.
As long as it goes up, or as long as they stay the heir for a while, the claim does go up over time. So hopefully our ruler won't die too soon.
How old is Ferdinand III at this point?
He's pretty young.
25, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, 25. Wait.
Yeah, very young.
Why can't I find him? Yep, there we go. Yep, 25.
Leaders don't have temperaments like they do in Crusader Kings in this, do they?
Oh, they do. It rules. Mm-hmm. They can be zealous, which helps you convert provinces. They can be smart, or they can be dumb, which like tells your enemies when you're about to declare war on them.
Yeah, and Ferdinand III is historically accurate too. He's a reformist. He's burnt out by all the war, and he wants some reforms maybe. There we go.
Yeah, they get little attributes, but not a ton.
Yeah, Crusader Kings is where you really get into like the interpersonal intrigue and things of that nature, the traits. That was the siege. Yeah, I'll just take the white beast from Lubeck since that'll take forever. There we go.
And very true to form with the three like big paradox games. Crusader Kings, Medieval is all about like the court intrigue and role playing. This is just like military and like economic simulator. And Victoria goes all big on the modernization, industrialization, and economic micromanagement as the engine of history changed.
This is actually something I wanted to chat with Matt about is the idea of I saw yesterday somebody quote tweeting somebody named Royalist Weeb saying how Hitler could have won using like basically paradox game tactics. My favorite being don't siege Leningrad, take it immediately.
What did you do? What are you doing? We're gonna just do a siege. We're tired. Idiots, just take it. Zerg rush Stalingrad.
Yes, exactly. But then the person that I saw like making a point about this is basically saying, that paradox games were designed to appeal to history nerds, but now they are creating history nerds whose background in the history is this kind of gaming.
Yeah, like they came to it not from history to, I would like to game about the history I like. They came into like, this is a game for my gaming addiction. And then now they approach the history that they were exposed to through the lens of the gamer.
Yeah, there's a book.
This is 100% me. I make apologies for who I am. I am a gamer history guy.
There was a post a while back where a guy was posting in the Paradox forums and was like, can anyone help me learn Europa Universalis lore? And someone was like, you mean history, dude? Hello?
Yeah, there's got to be at least a few guys that only know history as EU4 lore.
Yeah, no, that was me as a teenager. I went through an Ottomans phase as a teenager because of Europa Universalis 3. And, yeah.
Now I'm imagining go Matt.
I mean, if people like actually take it as an inspiration to read about this stuff, that's actually cool.
Yes.
But if they just insist on filtering it all through like their need to gamify it, then it's worse than not knowing anything.
No, I actually listened to a podcast on the subject recently, so it's been pretty good.
Yes.
Maybe that's something at least. You know?
Somebody dropped the link to Hell on Earth in the Paradox forums.
Yeah. You guys, if you're interested in this lore, as it were.
I mean, I'm imagining a version of, I know a lot of schools have had to do remote learning to various capacities. I'm imagining a version of doing remote history teaching that is exactly like this, where it's somebody just giving the lecture over somebody playing EU4, like those clips people make of like Parenti lectures over like Family Guy clips, and the person doing Maze Runner or whatever.
Subway Surfers.
Yeah, exactly.
Do kids really do that? That seems terrifying. I mean, I know I'm old, but goddamn, man. Are they just Cuisinarting their frontal lobes by the time they're like 10?
Yeah, everyone's doing it. They're putting it some weird game like Minecraft under them talking about whatever. Like, it seems like it's all over the place now. If you need that much
stimulation at that age, where do you go? Especially like after you hit puberty.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, yikes.
Hold on tight.
Like, the microplastics and puberty are gonna hit like the young, completely internet mediated kids at the exact same time that the fucking stored lead in the bones of Gen X is going to start leaching into their bloodstream. That'll be fun.
So when you say that you're doing a Kush vlog with a dude playing EU4 in the background, so
you got me. Fuck.
It's coming from inside the house.
Indeed.
Speaking of, we did get the Peace to Westphalia. We pieced out, but many of formerly Protestant states are now Catholic. There's a few holdouts, of course, people we had to piece out early, Scandinavia, but all in all, I would call it a victory.
We got so like the Palatinate. What is that? I want to know what we got. Did we get the Palatinate? Did we keep Saxony?
So the Palatinate, we took Bohemia from them, but they held on to Silesia, and they are still Protestant, since we can only ask for so much, and we sort of had to pick and choose. Saxony is Catholic. Beer George is in our camp now. He fears us. He's threatened by us, and we signed a treaty of religious peace. So, yeah, this has gone really well so far. Honestly, I was a little worried we might get owned right off the bat. What direction do you want to go next? Do you want to focus on the Turks? Do you want to maybe take a slice off Venice? Do you want to stab our Spanish brothers in the back?
Well, it does seem like conflict with the Ottomans is inevitable at this point, as we both recover our wits. In fact, maybe we're ahead of the Ottomans at this point on solidifying central authority. Maybe this is a perfect opportunity to land a haymaker at those turbaned scoundrels.
Yeah. Technology-wise, let's see here. We are equal in military technology, unfortunately. We can maybe the play is to wait until we get another military tech and then declare, or while they're occupied in Persia. I know that. Oh, wait, there it is, a war with Persia there.
Hell yes.
They're marching on east, and they're going to get stuck in the mountains there. So if we give it a few months and build our manpower.
Let's store up for a Hadouken here while they're fighting in the east.
Absolutely.
How are we doing on allies?
Yeah, we can probably call in Spain maybe to help too.
Let's maybe do like a holy alliance. Can we pull that off?
I'm thinking Poland might be down for an alliance.
Yes, Jan Sobieski, please. Paging the winged hussars.
There we go.
Just returning to the topic of Paradox games, somebody brought up the Victoria boards, which I've also been Victoria 3, which is basically this, but for the 19th century. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
More
Victoria's
industrial revolution, which we should maybe consider playing also on stream. But
I would be interested.
But I've been enjoying seeing cross posts from those boards and from the subreddit there of people basically paradox gaming themselves into either Marxist or fascist ideology based on their experience with the running an industrializing society.
Yeah,
like there was the one
saying that communism is overpowered.
Yeah, communism is OP.
It's so good because the way they had it set up, the economy is very finely detailed in Victoria, and they set it up so that the rate of profit would decline over time, and the industrial, like the working class populations that they had built in the simulation would lose all their money and get mad and like plunge countries into permanent rebellion because they were having all their money stolen by the capitalists, basically. And people were like, it's sort of funny that socialism is the best way to play here.
Yeah, it was the It was supposed to weave together the Enlightenment and the Christian tradition into a fully capable social engine. But I guess they wanted it more.
Well, the one post that was going around that I really enjoyed was the one that I'm sure you guys saw. That was the person complaining about landowners.
Yeah,
and there was
these fucking landowners. They just complain. They won't let me raise taxes.
They resist any kind of reforms that would help them create stability that they need for business in the long term. It was like
they are the drags on modernity at every point. And yeah, like at a certain point, you're like, who are my guys when I'm playing this game? Because you eventually realize playing these games how limp the bourgeois middle class is. Like, these guys, they just lie there like fish. They're just these economic engines. They're repulsive. The energy is with either those aggrieved smallholders or the working class. And so that if you take that as your principle, then you got to either go fascist or communist.
It's been a while since I played Ryan, but that is the dominant strategy in Vic 3 right now, right? You just team up the intelligentsia and the working class, and then jettison the intelligentsia when shit get real.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've played too, but yeah, that was it. You could like basically get the professors and the working class together and just like ram through reforms as like the royal ministers were like, oh no, don't do that. Oh.
It does seem like if you do that though, you should raise the danger of getting attacked by another country.
Oh, you definitely
that
do.
That is the element of it that really does militate against those socialist formations emerging in real life, is that if you get too threatening, you will become a military target.
Right. And the aristocratic element and the capitalists will even rise up and potentially attack you in unison with other countries, which, again, not entirely inaccurate. Let's see. I need to sell these provinces since they are remaining stubbornly Protestant, and they
come on, guys, get with the program.
Somebody in the comments is bringing that paradox game strategy to hinge points, Matt, saying that's you could look at New Year if you imagined New World colonization as if you were playing as the indigenous peoples there and you kind of knew the future, and then just maxed out development, so anytime a New World colony hit, you could just squash them immediately. Just thinking of being able to behave like that with the foresight in the past.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, your big problem is that you, in order to effectively challenge the colonial threat, you're going to have to trade with them,
Mm-hmm.
Like in the long term, you're going to have to develop sort of on their terms to get the weapons, and equipment to be a threat to them. I mean, in real life, it took a way longer time than people really imagine to defeat the Native Americans. Like it was hundreds of years, and like deep into what we think of as like American history, huge swaths of the country are still completely in the hands of indigenous authority. But there would have had to have been some force capable of just showing up and squashing everybody. And the thing that would have required that is some sort of meaningful alliance that went outside of any clan antagonisms, and that's the hardest thing to create anytime. I mean, the story of colonialism is not the Europeans showing up and just dominating everybody. It is a story of the Europeans showing up in the middle of a local conflict for power among local authorities and local government, state functionals, and then making strategic alliances with one faction or another to conquer the whole area. And that's also the story of North America.
There was a while in the game's development where basically exactly what you're saying didn't happen, where the natives would federate up really, really quickly, and people on the forums complained because it made it like impossible to colonize.
Yeah, and they would form giant federations too. Like sometimes you would see like the Cherokee Federation stretching across North America. It was pretty cool.
There's a alternate history book on this subject that I have not read yet, but I very much want to, called Civilization, I think. And the premise is that Vikings show up longer and stay longer in North America than they did in our version, and so they spread New World, Old World, or European diseases through all the way through the Americas, like 200 years earlier, so that by the time there is like real contact, all of that has the danger of those diseases has been bred out, and so people killed off in millions and millions.
New World basically gets the Black Death when Europe gets it.
Exactly.
And then can rebuild in the same capacity.
Right. And so that what it has is it has like an Incan, like a defeated Incan faction in the Incan Empire invading Europe and then dominating it. And one of the cute things in the book that I think is very funny and clever, and obviously not realistic, but it's fun when you're doing that kind of thing, is that they get Henry VIII to convert and join the Incan side because the sun god allows many wives.
And if we want to look over here, Ming has actually lost the mandate of heaven. They're falling apart.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Warlord period is popping up.
Time for the Manchu to go buck wild. Make everybody wear a damn Q.
Oh yeah, they actually are already. They're heading straight towards Beijing as we speak. Or have they? Yeah, they conquered it. There we go. Yep, they're moving on up.
All right, folks, it's Q time. Get those Qs in order.
Getting the Q. Getting the QQ.
It took them like 20 extra years to conquer China because they kept insisting that people had to wear that stupid haircut. All right, so where are we on this attack that we're going to stage?
I couldn't give this silly province away, which is annoying because it's single-handedly sending us into a disaster.
What?
Yeah, it's like basically a shortcoming of the game. Like, if we don't ditch this province, it'll keep sending us towards this disaster. So I was trying to sell to the Swiss, and they're not too interested for whatever reason, not even for 0 gold. I mean, if we get a disaster, it's not it's pretty bad, but it's not the.
What's the threat here?
Basically, the idea behind it is like, oh, you have religious disunity, so you're plunging towards a peasant revolt, like a large scale peasant revolt. We only have one province that's not Catholic right now, which makes it a little annoying, but hopefully we'll get it figured out.
Otherwise, Ryan's just been deving up and like doing a bunch of little like economic stuff to make sure we're ready once we want to start a war.
What is the
optimal? But they have it where you'll have like trade nodes like Venice and Genoa and trade routes between them, and you'll send merchants to either collect from that node or send the trade further along to your nodes further down the trade network. It's a little convoluted. But if you know how to work it, you can make a ton of money off it. Like that's something like in a Venice game, you get a supremely good trade node in Venice, and you can set up shop all across the Mediterranean and divert trade to Venice and make it into a giant megacity. It's pretty cool. And there are some economy sliders here as well. Like you'll see stuff like army maintenance, missionaries, colonial maintenance. We have no colonies, so they're free. And you can raise war taxes, reduce inflation, declare bankruptcy if you're feeling real desperate, take loans, of course, debase your currency. And
yeah, then each individual province also has a good that it produces. And so like, I think Ager, that top northwest one is like gold, and you can like dev that up and you get a lot more gold from it or something.
I've set up an edict there too. So I've been deving it a bit. We don't have a ton of diplomacy points since our guy is not very tactful. 1 diplomacy point, but I've been deving up the 2 gold mines we have when I can.
That's the internal improvements of mining technology that is also very accurate to this age.
Yeah.
much more efficient extraction of ore, new processes.
I was reading about this a little when I was trying to get into like figuring out the exact scale of like the Potosi or silver mine in the New World, and like the stuff that they would, again, like the chemistry and stuff that they were trying to do to like extract and purify ore during this time is wild.
Yeah, they were just dumping mercury on everybody. just making waterboarding Incans with fucking mercury.
Yeah, especially those. I think it was the silver mines in Peru, right?
Yeah, that's the
they were
Potosi.
very well known for being just like a cesspool of misery.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the worst places Earth has ever produced. I would say is being involved in anything having to do with the Potosi silver mine from the late 16th century to the early 17th century.
Yeah, there were Roman mines too that were slave labor powered that were just like, oh no, thank you. And of course, French colonial Haiti. That's another one.
Yes.
And we're setting up some claims right now in Ottoman Hungary, where we're finding some documents from 100 years ago that said, they were Habsburg all along. And since they should be pretty far into Persia by now, yep, they're stuck all the way in the mountains now. We should be good to declare pretty soon here. I want to see if Poland will.
Come on, Poland, help a brother out.
Yep, Poland wants.
Come on, Poland. I promise. The other powers of Europe are never going to gang up on you and carve you into pieces.
and you called it too.
Poland will never be partitioned.
And you called it as well, but Bavaria Poland is not going to help us. Bavaria is like, nope, we're not doing it.
Those goddamn fucking lederhosen bitches. You fucking roly-poly fat ass bratwurst and fucking sauerkraut fart motherfuckers.
Cannot trust the Wittelsbachs.
They're just these fat party animals. They just don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, if we get Spain and Poland to join us while they're in Persia, we're really going to destroy a lot of this upper Ottoman Empire.
I don't imagine we can push all the way to Istanbul, but maybe we can form the Austro-Hungarian Empire 200 years early.
Yeah, we'll need to knock out a old enemy, Duke Gabor, who's still chilling over here.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and
fucking swarthy little tater.
And his friends in Nitria. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can take a pretty good swath of Hungary from the Ottomans if we catch them with their pants down.
Get Budapest back.
How quickly can you push the isthmus? Because you're going to want that as a choke point for when they finally find their way back.
Yeah, the only issue is that we don't have much in the way of naval power. Of course, they're going to have gigantic fleets, and I don't think we'll be able to hold the Bosphorus.
Involved here?
Venetians, I want to say, hate us.
Oh, come on. What, just because we've been fucking around in northern Italy for fucking 300 years?
I think the Spanish will help us, though, so
yes.
Maybe they'll make something happen.
Yeah, you can tell them to prepare for.
Come on.
Oh yeah, that tells them to.
You're the most Catholic majesties of Europe. You guys are king shit Catholics. France, I gotta say, has been alarmingly quiet this whole time. I'm wondering what that deal is there. What's France been doing this entire time?
They hate us with an undying passion.
Right, but they haven't they haven't involved themselves in the war in any way. I mean,
usually
what are they up to?
They are causing trouble. Like by this point, they'll usually be doing stuff in Belgium. I'm not totally sure what's up with that. Maybe this guy is just,
are they going to ally with the Turk again?
Possible, but not terribly likely. The religious negative modifier makes it pretty unlikely, though not impossible. But yeah, they really despise us right now. They think we are no good.
Well, they definitely hate us more than the Ottomans. They always have.
And honestly, this might be go time on the Ottomans because they are stuck away, and we're going to give the Poles something. And let's take a look at relative. Oh yeah, we really outnumber them right now.
All right, let's get in there.
And
it looks like, are they still fighting the Dutch War of Independence up there?
80 Years' War, I think it ended. Yep. Yep, it ended.
Okay.
The last game I played, Spain actually won it, which
Oh, wow.
I hadn't seen before. But nope, the Dutch are up there making
Yeah, they formed
capitalism.
Netherlands, it looks like.
Yeah, where'd my shoot? I need to find a diplomat.
Yes, the point of the game should be to destroy Britain, but Britain is so infuriatingly difficult to destroy.
Yeah, you can start as the Irish and try and kind of from the beginning take over. It's a pretty fun one.
Yeah, you can do Great Ireland, if you would, just conquer the
Now
whole
we're talking.
mainland.
When you subjugate the fucking the Anglo-Saxons the way that they subjugated the Celts.
And I need to do one more thing before we go all in on them, just so our allies don't take land we want.
Best way to subjugate the Brits is you start landing guys on Ireland, and all these dumbasses just rush over there to fight you. Then last minute you turn around, drop in Cornwall. Now you have a beachhead. It's over.
Haha, temporal pincers movement.
It really was like that. As soon as anything would pop off in Ireland, they would turn around and drop whatever they were doing and send a bunch of guys over there.
London is yours for the taking.
So at some point in the next few months, we're going to see a few very panicked Ottoman armies cruising through here. Hopefully not too big. They probably took some losses down in the Persian mountains. We can even see how many people they have right now. Only 80,000, which by Ottoman standards is pretty tiny.
Somebody's saying one of the most interesting things you can do in EU4 is play as Burgundy and stay as an independent power, which completely changes the power dynamics in Western Europe.
Oh my God, that's a huge what if. If fucking Charles the Bold had been less of a dumbass and got his fucking wigs literally split by the fucking Swiss, who knows what happened?
Yeah.
Instead, they get leverage bought out by the Habsburgs.
That event chain is one of the cooler ones in the game, I'll say. You can play as Marie and like navigate the Holy Roman Empire. You can either join the empire or reform France or like basically become a new France, or you can form a new Lotharingian kingdom and go that way. Very, very cool country to play.
Japan is similarly unconquerable, which is one of the many things that England and Japan have in common.
You can have a real fun game colonizing California as Japan in like the mid 1500s.
Oh, hell yeah. Although in Kim Stanley Robinson's alternate history book, The Years of Rice and Salt, which is about what if all of Europe is killed by the Black Death instead of half, the Chinese actually do eventually conquer China. But then exiles from Japan do in fact colonize the Western United States.
For those asking for a quick catch up in the chat, yes, we are the gray-white color. We are playing as Austria. If you're just joining us recently, we have the Peace of Westphalia has been signed. The 30 Years' War is over. Ryan, with under Matt's visionary leadership, was able to.
I'm saying go attack the Ottomans. That's the extent of my contribution here. Monkey could do this.
Was able to re-Catholicize most of the Holy Roman Empire and end the 30 Years' War on favorable terms. And now we are going to see if we can take back a sizable chunk of the Hungarian and Northern Balkan lands from the Ottomans, who are at this point engaged in a long war with Persia over on the other side of their empire.
Yeah, and the Spanish are going to town. They've already landed a few guys in Constantinople. They took out a little Ottoman scouting force there. We really caught them on their back foot.
Hell yeah.
That's right, motherfucker. Who is the Sultan right now?
The Sultan is Osman II.
Osman, get ready to get fucked.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be marching on Vienna a second time after this.
Yeah, that's right. But that means we won't have Viennese coffee and the cafe culture.
It's true.
When they routed the Turks at Vienna in 1683, the army left behind huge sacks of coffee that were taken into the city and turned into staples of public consumption.
Do you think it took them a while to figure out what to do with it? You know, just a bunch of
I bet
chewing on
like,
beans.
That's also, by the way, where that there's a Viennese pastry that's crescent shaped that commemorates that too, because that's from the Turkish flag.
I want to say that's where the croissant came from, right? Because I want to say Marie Antoinette. Yeah,
because she was a Kraut. She was Austrian.
Beer and sausage all the way down for us.
Oh wow,
all the way down.
Constantinople gave up in 100 days.
Wow.
Holy shit! Hell yes.
Wow. We are blitzkrieging it, dudes.
Fucking hell.
It looks like from the rest of the map that we're just pouring in. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
Spain is going nuts.
Yeah, the Spanish took Greece.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Honestly, that makes sense. They feel like they should be, just in terms of overall temperament, they should be one entity.
Well, yeah, they're all the people who eat tiny olives off of plates.
Yes, exactly.
And live with their mothers until they're 50.
Spain, Italy, and Greece should form like a new cooperative alliance, you know?
Yeah, the hanging out alliance, you know, the guys that all take a nap at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Pretty good.
You know, one of the big reasons that Greece and Turkey are such big international enemies is that a lot of Greeks think that Western Turkey, that, you know, the islands and the coast there really are still Greek and should be part of that swath.
Yeah, they got it very briefly before Ataturk got him back, if I recall.
Yeah. Initially they were the powers were gonna carve up Anatolia, and the Turks were gonna be left with like a little circle of desert around Ankara. And they had Greek armies in Smyrna, and then Kemal said, no, Ataturk was like, fuck that shit. And he built an army that kicked everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Looked like the Spanish Navy just got crushed by the Turks.
Yeah, the Ottomans have a very strong navy right now, but it does look like we can take the long way through Russia.
Yes.
Go through the Caucasus Mountains.
Now we're talking. Get the fucking Crimea back from the actual taters.
Yeah, we can siege Crimea. We can take a detour here.
From the 100 Years' War to the Crimea. From the lance and the musket and the Roman spear. All of the men who have served with no fear, died with no fear, in the service of the king.
They changed these government mechanics not too long ago, so I'm double checking to make sure I'm getting the good ones.
What are some of the mechanics that you can apply?
So basically what this is supposed to represent here, the government tab, is like the progression from a feudal state to a centralized modern one. And there are all sorts of options, like you could curtail noble privileges or give them more privileges. I ended up giving them more privileges because we needed more manpower. The nobles gave us more manpower. And you can also do stuff like centralize the bureaucracy, curtail the clergy, or give them more powers, things of that nature. You know, by the time you get to the end of this tree, like it gives you all sorts of bonuses and such. And by the time you get to the end of the tree down here, tier 11, you have a very distinct state that's arisen, like a theocracy or, you know, a modern nation state. This is a bad event. Oh well.
One of the other more micro aspects is the estates, where you literally have to keep the burghers, the priests, and the nobility happy. You get little events that make them happy or less happy, but also more or less influential. They can help you out, they can hurt you, they can destroy your whole country. All about balancing.
Yeah, I think I will give the estates a little bit of privilege once we have a good amount of land conquered. And they because if you cede too much of your internal land to the estates, they will start to be a drag on the state and make demands.
Oh yeah, those fucking moochers.
And you can even see up here the percent. We control 32% of the land right now, whereas the estates own the other 68%. So we've still got a ways to go, but could be worse. When
you're not at war, you can just cold take their land. They fucking hate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have done that actually.
Yeah, you can summon a diet too, which is kind of fun.
What's going on with these robber barons?
And they'll give you little missions here. Yeah, I'll do that one. Doesn't really matter.
Oh no, Bakachesarski got sacked?
Yeah, we sacked the Crimea, and that's a good event too because it lets you institute some army reforms and gain more professionalism, which of course makes us fight better and moves us away from mercenaries. And now we're gonna go and siege Kars in Eastern Anatolia.
Really, Kars, doot in Kars.
I'm
in Kars, I feel safest of all. I'm looting the place and I'm shooting the Turks in Kars.
I saw Gary Newman the other week.
I saw that.
It was awesome. He plays like a new metal band right now. I mostly only know Pleasure Principle, which
raps?
is very new wave.
Rapping?
No, but it's just like it's so heavy. It's amazing. It like I really only know the Pleasure Principle, which is like a new wave album. But no, he it's like a metal band. They're great.
Wow.
Highly recommend if you get a chance to see Gary Newman.
Yeah, I was thinking the Ottomans would be able to hold Anatolia, but nope. We are running them over.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Austrian Anatolia.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Yeah, we can only demand so much land in the peace deal before we start to run into overextension issues. But we're still going to get probably most of Hungary here back, and maybe we can throw Spain a few bones too in Greece.
They got any allies you need to peace out?
Let me see. They got some. I think these are our vassals. I want to say. Yeah. Tugert might not be a vassal.
No friends, only vassals.
Yep, that's a vassal too. Yeah, they've got all sorts of stuff going on in Northern Africa and such. Is Ragusa? Why is Ragusa allied? Oh, nope, they're a vassal too. There we go.
You can't grab any of Transylvania.
Wow, this is a real miracle run for the Austrian Habsburgs.
I had actually totally forgotten that our old enemy Gabor was on the Ottoman side here. So yeah, we can actually take Transylvania. We can knock him out.
Let's fucking snatch this asshole's wig. He has been riding around roughshod for too goddamn long. Guys, I'll totally attack Vienna unless you want to just say I'm king and then I'll go home. It's cool, but I'll totally go to. I'll fuck your shit. But seriously, you could let me. By the way, the Sultan I have him on speed dial.
He is a vassal though, so we'll have to go through the Ottomans as well. Yeah, the Spanish are doing some heavy lifting here. We're just chilling in cars and they're swarming. God damn. They must have taken a beating in Persia.
We might be on our way to bringing Christ back.
Holy shit. I mean, seriously, we might a Christian imperium getting a technological breakthrough of the 1700s. I mean, yeah, that's a machine that brings Christ back, no question.
There was a Duke of Provence who was known for claiming all sorts of exotic titles that he didn't have like a real grasp on, like the King of Naples and the King of Jerusalem. But if you play as him earlier in the game, they actually do give you an option to form Jerusalem as him, and he has like a whole mission tree where you can go and like claim all these lands he had fanciful ideas about. I wish I could remember his name, but that's a very cool game too.
You probably could take Al-Quds in this peace deal if you want it. It's not that expensive.
Shoot, yeah, we can take Jerusalem. We can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
No question.
A Habsburg king in Jerusalem.
We've got the mandate of motherfucking heaven here. The Catholics are reeling. Imagine what's happening in England, for example. All the other people like, you know what? Maybe we backed the wrong horse here.
See, that's the thing. That is the thing. Like historically, if you were to take, what am I trying to say? You know, the thing about taking your history from a paradox game, like this is obviously, you know, something that we've created in a game, and you're saying like, oh, the Habsburgs should have just done XYZ, and then they could have like reinstituted a Habsburg kingdom that extended from, Denmark to Jerusalem or whatever. But the thing is that if something like this was happening in history, you would have seen a reformation of the same Protestant leagues funded by the French, backed by the British, all the things that checked the Habsburgs during the 30 Years' War.
Yeah.
But
having hindsight and very clear goals is a benefit as well. Like actual rulers were like, oh, I'm fine with foot rubs and eating dates all day. I don't need to go conquer. Whereas
there is no place where one person is clicking on all these buttons. These buttons are being clicked by hundreds and hundreds of different people in different positions with different interests, all of them interpreting these actions for different goals.
That's the fun counterfactual, the hinge point, if you will. Like, what if like any of these people had the map game? Like,
what if? I mean, that's what they were trying to build, and that we're now have at our fingertips. It's like a total informational, technological state apparatus.
And now Joe Biden is clicking all the buttons.
What don't we love to see it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is accurate. If Matt was running the 30 Years' War, he would have conquered.
We would have saved the German soul from the Protestant devil. We would have retaken Jerusalem. Maybe we might get Constantinople, folks. We might reunite the Roman Empire.
The Ottomans spotted us going on Jerusalem, and they sent 80,000 men. That might be their entire army right there, actually.
But this is a big prestige loss if they lose Jerusalem. So
a forced march across the Arabian desert.
Yeah, I'm calling for some allies on this one.
Damn, you got him at 73. This is going swimmingly.
Yeah, and Cairo is falling too. Although,
Cairo.
Wow. They're splitting up, so we might be able to catch the other half. We can get a few little vassal armies. The Poles are getting demolished in Cairo, and I'm not sure there's much we can do to help them.
You got the Poles fighting in Cairo?
Boy, those wings aren't going to do too good.
They marched the entire way too.
Yeah, they really went all in. They gave it their best,
God
and it
bless
wasn't
them.
enough.
We still really appreciate the effort, Poland, and we absolutely won't take this opportunity to carve you up. We would never do that to you, Poland.
Never, ever.
Man, they loved partitioning Poland. It was like their favorite thing in the world. Like if people were feeling a little stressed and they just wanted to have like a fun team building exercise for the powers of Eastern Europe, they would just carve up fucking Poland.
Yeah. And they got sad about it. The leader of Austria at the time, I want to say it was Maria Theresa. I could be wrong. She was like, "Oh, the poor Poles. I'm so sad about them, but I'll take Galicia anyway."
I'll take it. Yoink.
We really did inadvertently. We wanted to take back a little bit of Hungary, but we restarted the Crusades here.
Yeah.
Yep. It sounds like somebody did have heaven in mind and the Christ's return on his mind when he waged his holy war. And that's right. It's me.
Yeah, they're actually pushing back pretty good now, though. We have Wallenstein holding the front here, but he is getting beat up pretty good.
Oh man, that's a good alternate history novel. Wallenstein in Jerusalem.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's there right now. He's looting. He's having a good time.
He would have
imagined the Jerusalem syndrome if that happened.
Oh my God!
Absolutely declare himself. Yeah, I'm actually. You know what? I am the King of Jerusalem and also King of Kings. Sorry, guys. I just checked my chart. It's Jesus's exact same one. That's me.
Well, I was just imagining, even to begin with, Wallenstein getting access to Middle Eastern astrologers.
Yeah. Oh, he's getting like this incredibly he is able to combine the different traditions. Like he even gets some Chinese zodiac stuff from like an emissary, and it basically gives him a rune through which he could like see the future. He becomes essentially God on Earth.
This would be Wallenstein's Dune arc.
Yes, exactly.
God Emperor Wallenstein.
Since the Ottomans are starting to push back, I'm starting to see a peace deal here. We've got the entirety of Transylvania.
But definitely hold on. We want to hold on to Jerusalem.
Yep, I've got Jerusalem down here too. We got our little outpost here, enclave.
Austrian Israel.
Yep, Austrian Israel.
We have an Austrian Israel, folks.
The most inbred people you've ever met. And yeah, that was a pretty good war right there.
With all the Adriatic ports, yeah, I'd say make that deal. Keep Israel, keep Transylvania.
Absolutely.
I want to see if I can squeeze some reparations out of him too.
Ooh, absolutely. Get a little walking around money.
Yep, there we go. Ooh, doggy. Yep, that was a very good war.
Seems like it's time to humble the French.
Excellent. Yep, we can definitely do that. They're at war right now. It looks like they're up to some no good in North America.
Who they're at war with?
Just some tribes. We don't have them discovered yet, so we can't. Oh, we do actually. The Micmac up here in Newfoundland.
So they're fighting them in Canada.
Yep, in Canada. And yeah, we can turn an eye to them next.
Sorry, I'm still just losing my mind about the idea of the head of the Likud party in 2023 being named von Habsburg.
With some separatists here too. Got to march back and take care of those. Hungarians are getting some ideas. And Wallenstein himself is marching on back.
Good job, Wallenstein.
Way to go, buddy. So glad I didn't have you run through with a halberd by an Irishman.
Is that an option in this game? Can you play event Egger Bloodbath?
You can't pick their ethnicity, but
you could like put him at the head of like a very small army and like send him into into like a much larger force. You know.
Oh, get him killed.
If he dies, you know, it happens.
How old is Wallenstein at this point? It might be nice to reward him with a retirement so he doesn't get any ideas.
It's like you did it. Congratulations.
You die Wallenstein, conqueror of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only 45 right now, so he might have some glory left in him.
Can we make him an elector or something? Maybe he'd like that.
He would like that. He would have really liked that.
I don't know if it's possible to like name the rulers of client states. You know, God, we should have named the heir Wallenstein. That would have been pretty funny.
Oh, there you go.
But
that's interesting.
I'm not totally sure if there's much we can give him since you know a general is a general in the context of a game.
Yeah.
But I want to say there's the Poles are real mad because we didn't give them anything after the war. But
oops, sorry.
You know it happens.
Sorry, guys. What's that? You said something about wanting to be partitioned. Well, if you insist.
Can you grant them claims to some state in Eastern Europe? Like grant them claims to, I don't know.
Tell him he can have Poland.
Yeah, just go that way. Out of our lands.
Say, hey, Wallenstein, if you take Poland, we'll recognize you as the king of Poland.
I mean, in game context, right? Because they were occupying territory that they thought has been historically theirs, and then you just completely leave them hanging and brush them out, and they have to give it back to the Turks.
Yeah, them's the breaks.
Should have conquered Cairo.
Yeah, there they go. They're mad about it. Oh, no more alliance. Oh well, we got what we wanted. And I think they were guaranteeing Nitria, but it doesn't look like they were anymore. So we can snag them at some point too. I just need to make sure all my territories are incorporated before we go getting overextended.
A bunch of our truces with 30 years war countries should be ending too.
Somebody just pointed out that the leather cannons just got unlocked.
Oh yeah. We found them in Jerusalem. And we're gonna throw the estates a bone here too, because they can give us some real good stuff. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. And we have enough land now anyway, so they can have a bit of power as a treat.
Ryan, I'm now that we're decently into this, we did a few tests about this. We tried to do this stream, I think back in October 1st when I was like kind of locked out of the Twitch account. And I'm glad that your skills at EU4 were not undersold, because I can see how this would be incredible. Like, this would only be fun for me and Matt if somebody was like running this who could play it at the speed and competence you did. I mentioned to Aaron,
thank you guys, appreciate that,
at Bertovo yesterday that we were planning on finally doing this and just clearing that the FIM guys didn't have anything on the stream right now. I mentioned we were doing EU4, and he was like, "Oh, really? Good luck, I guess." We were like, no, we have a guide. And he was like, all right, if you say so.
There we go. Yeah, it's really difficult to find good streamers for this game, in part because it's difficult, in part because it like, if the person isn't like charismatic and able to talk about the things, it can be like a little dull. Like, the only good one I've seen is a guy named Flory Worry. He's real funny and gets like 3,000 viewers too, for his runs. He does all sorts of crazy stuff that like blows my stuff away. Yeah. Thanks for the kind words. It's gone much better than I thought it would. I came on a little worried that like, oh, maybe the Turks will run us over. Maybe the Empire will go totally Protestant. But no, this has gone better than I expected it to, frankly.
Great job, Matt.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was all me.
There we go. Yeah.
Saying things.
Yep.
I mean, this is like what it would be like serving under an emperor.
Yeah.
That's true. I spend the morning riding and hunting and just eating huge amounts of meat and not shitting, and then getting shit drunk, and then being like, hey, should we invade these guys? Sure.
Yeah, this is what it was like for Cardinal Richelieu. King Louis was like, yeah, good stuff we did here, Cardinal. And the Cardinal Richelieu was like, yeah, I guess we both did it.
Yeah.
Effort, yeah.
Well, that was why he was able to just kiss that kid's ass in the exact right way to make him feel like he was in charge, so that even when his mom said it's him or me, he was like, sorry, Mom, get the fuck out of here.
And hey, Richelieu ends his life with the king hand feeding him eggs.
The king is hand feeding you eggs as you die. You were born under a sign that said Armand for the king. That, I think, that's
a full life cycle. Yes,
you fulfilled your destiny.
Yes,
you can kind of high five Saint Peter on the way through the pearly gates there.
Richelieu might be in the Crusader King Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
In terms of Catholic politiques. I mean, literally the term came up like around him, right?
Yeah. They were the way so the way to think of the hardcore Catholics and the politiques is the way that like the hard right in the 70s thought about Ford and Kissinger. Like they were willing to deal with heretics, and they hated that. But at the end, the Catholics just wore everybody out. They're like, dude, we're trying to eat big mutton shanks over here. Could you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, if they had it back then, they would have given Richelieu the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, yeah, good job, man. You did some stuff. Yeah,
Richelieu would have gotten the 17th century Peace Prize, like Kissinger got the Peace Prize.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would have got it for ending. Like he would have got it for Westphalia.
Yeah,
posthumous.
Even as he was paying both sides to keep the war going for 2 decades.
Just like Kissinger.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Kissinger was the conduit to that Nixon sabotage of the Paris peace talks in '68.
How's Austrian Jerusalem going? Are we going to be able to hold on to that?
They're not happy about it. There's a great deal of unrest, obviously.
We're going to create a thriving coffee house scene here, so that by the turn of the 20th century, it will be like Vienna. They'll be like Sigmund Freud will be there. He'll be like one of the most powerful rabbis in Jerusalem.
You might want to drop some guys there for when the rebels pop, Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good call. I was thinking of how to do that because the Ottomans sank all our ships.
Shit.
The Poles hate us now, so I'm not totally sure how we're going to get an army. I should have done it while we were there. Just left a few guys behind. But I think I think we can build. Well, that is a core. Yeah, it'll take a second before we can recruit armies there.
I mean, if you can just get one cog, you can take it over one by one as long as they don't spawn.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah, just a couple ships real quick. I guess we only can make maybe 2 or 3 at a time.
Now, this might be a real in the weeds question, but are all these Paradox games developed by a team, or is there like a single visionary behind this?
Is there a Sid Meier?
Is there a Sid Meier?
I used to read the dev diaries pretty religiously way back in the day, years and years ago. From what I understand, is they've got a pretty big team there. They're I want to say that their big guy is named. It's a Swedish company, so it's
they're based out of
Johan
Stockholm.
something. I want to say. But I don't think there's
wow, I'm totally shocked that this game was made by Scandinavians.
The greatest Swedish autists are on it.
Absolutely.
The autistic countries coming together to make their perfect game. Peasants are getting uppity. What did we decide to do to the peasants? Are we going to give them the pimp hand?
I clicked right through that one. I think I might have gone a little harsh on them, but
yes, good.
Yeah.
They need to know who's boss. Me.
Yeah, when you take land like this, like Transylvania, you get a few little revolts here and there for
that's fine.
5 years afterwards.
Guys,
you just gotta.
They know the score. Impale their asses. Put their asses on stakes.
Impale the leaders and kegs of beer for the survivors.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The Heidelberg ton, we can go get that and
yeah, there we go.
Put them in there.
That is
if you're not down, we will drown your ass in it. We'll throw you in the ton.
Building our secret Dracula army there.
Oh boy. Is there like an undead multiplier? You could bite the necks of your enemy army and they turn for you?
There is actually a mission tree for Wallachia where you can impale the Sultan. Oh
my god, that would be awesome.
That's a pretty cool one.
You'd have to get a very big, a very shiny pike to fucking.
Oh yeah, solid gold pike.
Yeah, solid gold pike.
Like Crassus, but not quite as liquid. I'm trying to think of how we're going to handle the war with France. What our angle here is going to be. We could come in through the south, take Provence.
Could we ally with the Guise, with the ultra Catholic faction?
You can maybe foment some rebels or something.
Yeah. We can start building up some internal dissent. Yeah. And then there's some things we can do once we got our spy set up there. Oh, that's
Protestant rebellion in Hungary.
Yeah. Oh, this is a unique one. The Long War. One of our commanders behaved with such insane cruelty towards the Hungarian Protestants that a Transylvanian general revolted, and his army of wild Hajduks drove out the general. And in June, they concluded with a peace of Vienna. So this is coming a little later than it did historically, but we're gonna crush them. No worries.
No, you gotta crush them.
Not even attempting the Hungarian names.
Did you listen to the podcast?
Oh, did I? Yeah.
No, I mean in terms of attempting names from various European countries.
I see. Yeah. Good point.
They talk about the Hadjuks there. Those were the guys that the Holy Roman Empire paid to be like a border force in the buffer area between them and the Ottomans. In like Hungary.
Oh, Habsburg Ice. Wow. Damn. We got to get Sean von Elby on this. Oh, yep, there's the rebellion. Shoot. We do have a fort down here, so it's not gonna be too terrible, but I'm gonna have to ship some guys over.
They're rebelling against our mandate, our godly mandate. Oh, that's not gonna work for me.
Those are specifically Sunni zealots, which I don't know why they're so pissed.
Yeah.
Look, scoreboard, okay? Get with the program. AEIOU, bitch.
What year is it?
Right now it's 1646.
Holy
Yeah,
crap!
I feel like the if I'm the advisor here, I'm saying we've got to hold Jerusalem and maintain Habsburg control of the Holy Roman Empire until 1666, because that's obviously when the world is going to end.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
if we can hold on to
not much
Jerusalem
time
until
left.
then, we win. Boom! Jesus shows up. History ends.
No, that's no good. They took over our landing spot. That is very unfortunate.
Shit.
That is my fault. I should have sent some guys over earlier. I'm sure there might be a way to salvage this. Maybe the Ottomans will give us military access. Maybe they're
You can
feeling.
put some mercenaries on Jerusalem.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. You're right.
Or on the whatever the one with the fort is.
Oh, we need some loans for this though. Oh wow. What are a few loans?
Yeah, free company should be good.
Yeah. Yeah, those Transylvanians are not happy. Yep, we'll have Pappenheim take care of the Holy Land situation.
Hell yeah, get Scarlet Hide in there.
He would love that. I feel like that would suit his zealous nature.
So here's a fun little side thing. We managed to get one of our guys in the papacy. We created some influence. So now we can enact a golden bull.
Oh, hell yes.
Let's see here.
I love a good golden bull.
The best one gameplay wise is Die Gratia Rex, but this one lets you do crusades at any point. This one is institution spread. This one is tolerance of heathens. No, thank you.
Get that out of here.
What is Digressia Rex?
It basically improves absolutism year over year, which is something you really, really want in this era, basically. You want your emperor to be ruling with an iron fist, basically, and keeping the dukes and counts down.
Ryan could only take so many provinces in that last deal with the Ottomans, but the more absolutism you got, the more you can take at once.
Yeah. So, unless you guys have any preferences, I think I will go with that one.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So wait, is there a Habsburg Pope now?
It's not like explicitly last name Habsburg. Let me check what his name is, but he is under our control. Pope Gregorius the 15th. For all we know, his last name could be Habsburg. So
he's essentially a neo-Ghibelline.
Yeah. He is under our control, and we can also have people excommunicated now as well. As long as the Pope doesn't like him too. So we might be able to get France excommunicated. Let's see
hell
here.
yeah, get that bitch out of there.
Let's
is it
see.
Louis who is it over there?
Louis XIII still?
Oh, the ruler.
Regency?
Oh yeah, it's a regency.
Get that 7-year-old out of here.
Yeah. So the Pope won't excommunicate
the child.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a tough argument.
Yeah. This kid is no good, Mr. Pope. You gotta take care of this guy.
Get him out of there.
Original sin baby.
On behalf of the one true religion. Cut a deal with the Guise.
There we go. And that's the rebellion in Jerusalem put down.
There you go. That's what you get. This is what you get when you mess with us.
What'd you say, Jack?
You gonna be able to convert it?
Yeah,
I need the cord first, and it takes a long time to core since it's
especially because of that. Yeah,
it's not connected to other cord provinces. But yeah, pretty soon here we should be able to convert the Holy Land. Oh wait, how's it? I no, actually we did knock out a few. Whoops. Yeah, no, we're converting a few. That's
oh yeah.
Well, Jerusalem is going to take a shitload of money to convert if we do it before we core it, but we can pretty soon here.
It's that is the classic case of spending money to make money.
Oh yeah. We've got our spies working in France as well. Let's see what's going on here. Covert actions. We want to fabricate some claims, but we don't have neighboring provinces, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll have to think of an angle here, but I'm sure we'll think of something.
Alsace. That's where it always starts with the
It's
Germans.
usually
and
about
the
Alsace,
French.
yeah, or Lorraine sometimes.
I wonder, is that imperial territory? I think we can demand it back, actually.
Yeah, let's get Alsace back.
Let's
yeah,
see
when you're Holy Roman Empire emperor, you have to demand, if anyone takes any of your land, you have to always demand it back.
Yeah, let's see.
They never give it back, but
We can get that shit.
It's only if it's a non-core province, but damn. We'll figure out a way to declare war on them. How am I gonna do this? We might be able to vassalize the Swiss. We can go through Switzerland, maybe.
You push a Spanish claim?
Because we do have claims in Switzerland now, actually.
Start a war with Switzerland, and then
yeah, we could take the southern part of Switzerland, and then from there fabricate some claims in the bordering area in France, which I think would be our way into France. That might be the way to go about it. So
that makes sense.
Whatever it takes.
So much for neutrality.
Bring those Gallic bastards to heel.
Absolutely.
I do agree with Matt that in terms of gameplay dynamics, France has seemed fairly passive this entire game, considering.
Yeah, and France is actually pretty infamous in most games for like going hog wild and like attacking everything nearby and trying to break into the Holy Roman Empire, especially if they inherit Burgundy at the the beginning start date when Burgundy is there, they'll go crazy. But this France has been very quiet.
Yeah, once we're after the 100 Years' War too, it's a little different.
Yeah, I think part of it is that Spain is pretty comfortably positioned right now. They're kind of worried about Spain.
They got a bunch of updates in the new patch too, so they really only care about Italy for their mission tree.
New France just dropped.
Yeah, well, let me make sure all my cores are going. There we go. We'll start pressing into Switzerland.
What
were we gonna say?
What year is it again? Your update?
1647.
Okay, great.
And the cool thing here too is that they're actually allied with our breakaway guys, Nitria. So we might be able to get them both in one fell swoop here. Let me just make sure that I have the provinces marked up correctly so that none of our allies occupy.
It is time to settle all old business.
Hell yeah.
Are they still guaranteed, or can you co-belligerent them for free?
I'm pretty sure I can co-belligerent. Yeah, I think they guarantee drop. Yep, there we go. They have nobody.
Oh, yeah.
This is pretty convenient. And Bavaria's willing to come along, thank God.
Hell yes.
Spain doesn't want to for some reason.
Nerds.
Let me see what they're
You
up
want
to.
to save them for France anyway. That's good.
Yeah,
that is
good call.
probably
Good
good.
call. Yep. Save them for the big war. And I'll actually split this army. I'll keep Wallenstein over on the Swiss front, and we're going to move Pappenheim over to Nitria.
Who's garrisoning the Holy Land?
The Holy Land.
Only mercenaries right now.
Since we just got our core here, I will knock out a few armies here so we can have some guys over here to keep things under control. And we don't actually have enough manpower to build in. Speak of the devil, Ottoman separatists. It's all good. We can take some more mercenaries for the time being. Let's see here. Yeah, the Tyrolean Guard should do the trick. Wait, nope, they can't reach that. Will it not?
Did we get anything for coring them? For coring there?
It looks like we can do these guys. Yeah. I got the core in Jaffa, so I guess it's letting me do that one right there. But I really need to get a regular army in there once we.
How many boats we got? We might be able to pull off the landing in just a couple trips.
Yeah, we've got 3 transports right now since the Ottomans sunk the rest of them. But
the daring heist for Jerusalem.
Yeah, I'll split up this army here, Pappenheim's army, and why doesn't it let me split it? Weird.
Yeah, you only have 8K there in Nitria.
Yeah, there we go. And I'll send these guys under Franz von Mercy. Not a good name for General von Mercy.
No, I don't want General Mercy. Get him out of here.
But at least in a good ironic name.
Yeah, maybe it'll help like with relations in the Holy Land. They'll think, oh, von Mercy. What's the worst that could happen?
Somebody pointing out you still have 8,000 troops in Magdeburg.
Oh, do I? Oh, yep, good call. Yeah, those guys have been chilling there for a while.
I'm assuming it did not get sacked in this version of events.
Thank you, I'm a gangbang.
I think they did actually sack it at some point, but that was a while ago, a few decades ago at this point.
Well, R.I.P. That's what you get, honestly.
Yep, so I'll send these guys here.
Magdeburg had been asking for it for a long time, honestly.
So we've got our mercenaries constructed and here, and I'm hoping that they won't get. They probably will get automatically killed by it. Shoot, or maybe not. Maybe not. If this army can hold out here,
we'll see whose side God is really on.
True. It'll be on the 25th of February. So if this army comes in time, yeah, this should work out well because they're landing here. 11th March. That would be a little late. Oh, they already took it. It's not going to. The army's not going to shoot. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Nope. I kind of blundered a bit in the Holy Land. Let's see if we have another.
Oh no!
The bag in the Holy Land.
We have lost the mandate of heaven.
Farewell.
Christ will not return now. He's going to go back. He was on his way. He had booked an Airbnb, and now guess what? He's just going to eat the fucking deposit.
Well, at least you can go back to all your, urban centers in Austria and say, "Look how angry God is with you. The only choice is to give more to your emperor and to the church."
That's so true.
We got some mercenaries there though, so they might be able to and wrap that up.
Yeah, they got to hold it for like 5 years or something to actually successfully break away.
Yeah, it's not like a huge deal unless we really drop the bag, but yeah, we should be okay. I'll move these guys enough to prepare for the invasion of Nitria as well. Yeah, we'll give them some money.
Plague.
Yeah, lots of plagues going around.
Wallenstein had this vision of using a holy war with the Turk to unify the Holy Roman Empire. We got to do it.
Yeah, his dream came true. Okay, I'm going to knock out these rebels, and then we can go to town on the Swiss.
Oh, buddy, all those clocks are... Guess what time it is? Check your clocks, Swiss.
Yeah, they put up quite a fight there, but we got them. And it's mercenaries dying anyway, so all the same.
They like that. It's how they entertain themselves.
And I'm actually gonna take these guys on down. Our ships will move them there, and now we are free to take some mountains.
All right, so let's set up this strategic play to reclaim both. I guess that's Silesia basically, over to the east, and push into France to the west. I can run this for about 45 more minutes, 7:15 ish. See how much we can get done in that time.
Sweet, yeah. By that time, we'll have our corridor to France, I think, and we might be able to snag Silesia by then as well.
All right, great.
Depending on how things go.
Hell yeah!
These guys are going to the Holy Land.
Break the French, and that means that the Germans will be the power of Europe. No way that can go wrong.
All right, it's go time. Let's destroy these guys. We'll march right on Bern.
1 second for me.
That Nitrian army got away, but that's not a huge deal. And Wallenstein is knocking out the Swiss as well.
Hell yeah.
What a god. There we go.
Mountain combat, fucking vast rolling plains, the desert. He can win anywhere.
Let's see, we might need some more people to take Bern. Oh yeah, we need 27 regiments to lay an effective siege. Yeah, you know what that means. More mercenaries.
That's okay. We're hiring, boys.
Dorgavon Toilet. What a name.
Bergavon Toilet?
Well, toilet, but you know, close enough.
Right.
German for George the Toilet.
Oh yeah, baby. We're eating the Toblerones. We're enjoying delicious Toblerones. There will be blood. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I think it was the Ottomans declaring on someone down there. They're off doing stuff.
Well, good luck.
Expanding in the south. Thankfully, not in the north, though. They've learned their place.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we could call Spain, but I don't think that's necessary.
I think it would be pretty cool to do like a double invasion of France.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Catalonia and through Alsace and Lorraine, just like a baboom.
Yeah, we might
maybe from the fucking Netherlands too.
Yeah, we might save the Spain Jews for the big war with the French.
Yeah, they give you a 10-year wait when you call someone in for an offensive war to call them in for another.
Oh.
So we got to save them for the Frenchies.
Wow.
Does France have any other big allies right now?
I'll check. Let's see here. They are allied with the Poles. That's a good catch. That'll be a big war.
I smell partition in the air.
You know,
someone's gonna get partition.
I wonder how the Russians feel about us.
That's what I'm wondering. Hey, Russia, you feeling a mite peckish? You want to do some partition?
They'll marry us. You see that?
See what?
They'll marry us. That might go.
Oh yeah. Good catch. But yeah, once we're out of the war, it looks like they'll take an alliance too. So we can't ally the Russians and have them on our eastern flank. Happy
Austria marry.
Yes.
And yep, we have secured a Russian bride.
There we go, baby. Molotov-Ribbentrop pact here.
This really is the AEIOU speed run.
Yeah, seriously. Like, we're just leaping to the 20th century.
Yes. And if anybody did not listen to the podcast or was wondering about the name of this stream, AEIOU is the traditional Habsburg slogan, which in German is translated to Austria is destined to rule the world.
Yep. There were a bunch of other ones, but that's the big one.
Yeah.
They can never figure out any of the lore basis in a lot of the Habsburg stuff because so much of it is based on just fraud.
Well, it's like every royal house at a certain point paid somebody to create a document that said, actually, we're descended from Caesar, right?
Yep. It just proved that you had money. Oh, they could hire somebody to make this thing, so they must be serious.
It's like the American Psycho business card scene, except they're sliding across claims of Caesarean descent.
Yeah, it's like Julius Caesar. Oh, really? Well, I'm descended from Sulla, who came before Caesar, so suck it. I'm descended from Hector.
Ooh, yours is on parchment. Well, I had mine made up on vellum.
Mm-hmm.
Emboss, Gothic font. Yeah, that's gold leaf.
And Bern should be falling pretty soon here. Once we're out of this war, we can ally Russia, of course, and make preparations for our French war.
I feel like Poland tonight, like Poland tonight, like Poland tonight.
The Netherlands is doing pretty well up here, too. Looks like they took a bite out of Spain at some point.
A campaign tray I would like to try is starting as the Netherlands and then full-on conquering England.
Yeah, and their trade node is actually the most the English Channel is the most powerful one, so you can make a shitload of trade income doing that as well. Just monopolize all the spices and
everybody moving it through your fucking ports.
Yeah,
stacking guilders. They love to stack guilders.
Oh, let me bring this up. This is a funny thing that somebody sent me under breaking 17th century news. I think that they messaged you about this, Matt. Listener Patrick from Maine sent us something that apparently somebody in Maine right now is mass issuing a mailer, the only point of which is to claim their family's descendant from the executioner of Charles I.
Yeah. And it's wild because the claim is that, so there's this guy who's pretty famous from the English Civil War, Thomas Pride, who was a Roundhead officer who purged Parliament during the English Civil War. It was called Pride's Purge. And the claim is that his 12-year-old son, John Pride, was the one who cut Charles I's head off.
And I mentioned this obliquely in the series, just when I was discussing Charles I's execution. I think I phrased it as the swing of an anonymous executioner's axe, because the identity of the executioner was never really revealed. There was much speculation about who it was, and then there have been theories about it and claims put forth throughout history since, but there is no historical consensus of who this guy is. So apparently some dude in Maine is taking the claim that his family is descended from the executioner of Charles I. To what end? I don't know. It's cool, but he is mass mailing out a homemade pamphlet about
hey,
this.
You can make a website for free. No, thank you. I'm going to pay thousands of dollars to send postcards to people to let them know that my great-great-great-great-grandfather, as a child, killed the King of England.
That's retail politicking.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that would be a bold first play to become, like comptroller of Maine.
Announced his announcement for running for president.
No, that there is a robust tradition of people associated with regicides and the death of rulers becoming politicians. The guy who recognized Louis the 16th in his flight to Varennes, literally from his profile on a coin, he ended up
hilarious.
He ended up in the National Assembly, as did one of the communist partisans who shot Mussolini.
The coin thing is one of those perfect Looney Tunes moments of history where you're just imagining a guy like with a tankard of wine out in front of like a tavern, like literally pulling up the coin and just like doing with that guy getting out of a carriage. If you like,
it's like
that's a hell of a beat. How many times did he get that wrong before he got it right?
Can you imagine too?
Using everybody.
You think you've gotten away, like maybe you'll make it to like England or something, and then a peasant rolls up and he's like, "Wait, you're the guy from the coin, was it?"
Or like cop walking up into Louis the 16th's carriage, being like, "You all having a pleasant evening over here? Have any idea how fast your horse was going?" I mean, that's an interesting counterfactual. How if Louis the 16th had gotten away, I don't think that changes that much I mean, he just joins the other emigres and like tries to form an expat.
War. There's certainly still war between the revolutionary government and Europe. It just comes earlier, which might have honestly helped the other countries of Europe snuff the revolution in its cradle.
I mean, I guess you end up in a Frederick V situation where you're kind of bouncing around Europe trying to solicit allies from the other royal houses, but you have the backing of having the wealth, theoretically having the wealth of the French monarchy at your disposal if you can reclaim it. It's kind of like running a Nigerian prince stand, but you're running a
Frederick
French.
V pulled that shit for years. Get in on the ground floor of a winning venture with huge upside. Another funny story of somebody getting caught during the French Revolution is the Marquis de Condorcet was this he was one of the National Assembly people. He was a leader of the more moderate Jacobin faction, and he was an aristocrat, as his name would tell you. And he went into hiding when the Jacobins took power and started rounding up all of the Girondins. And he got caught because he was in a rural tavern and he ordered an omelet. And they asked him how many eggs he wanted in it, and he said 12.
Oh God.
And they were like, okay, this guy is clearly some sort of doily-clad fancy motherfucker who clearly at this point in time is an enemy to the people.
Yeah, that's like a really weird version of the guy in Inglourious Bastards, like holding up three fingers the wrong way.
Wrong fingers. This is
But
that other one looks
for 12
wrong.
eggs.
But he was just like, yeah, no, that's what I, a fancy aristocrat guy, eat in the morning is 12 egg omelet.
God,
what
a
do you people
12
eat?
egg omelet. Maybe the eggs were smaller back then. They hadn't been
They probably
buffed up
were.
with the GMOs. They were more like
we've
robin's
got
eggs
these
or something.
Giant eggs. They're not that big, but still, it was enough to raise eyebrows, and he ended up getting caught and then guillotined.
Imagine being drug into the guillotine, just cursing yourself for not ordering. If I'd only done 6 eggs, if I'd stopped
breakfast.
at 6 eggs.
How many eggs could an omelet contain?
I should have just said grapefruit.
All right, so we did win our Swiss war. We've got our corridor to France now. And
hell yes.
Do we want to?
Wait, does that mean that Geneva is also pacified to the? Did we get Geneva?
We did. I don't believe. Did we get Geneva?
Yeah, Lake Geneva right there.
Oh my God, did we get Geneva?
Oh yeah, we did. But the provinces get renamed when different culture conquers them. So it's now called Genf, I think. Yep.
Holy crap!
Two of the major Protestant centers.
Hotbeds of Protestantism have been snuffed out across the continent.
Yeah, we did it.
This is counter-reformation, my friends. This is what the Council of Trent was hoping to get. We're counter-reforming the fuck out of the continent.
Yeah, and now I think we can start to go for Silesia, and maybe we'll have that conquered in time to leave the stream on a cool cliffhanger, preparing for the big war with France and making the Russian alliance and all that. There we go. Yep. Russia
What does the religious map look like now?
Religious map is looking much more Catholic than it was at the beginning.
Look at that.
We still have a few holdouts, Scandinavia, the British, but yeah.
Oh, look at that! Look at that beautiful spread across the continent there. Oh, and we got areas that are totally surrounded.
And this
it's eventually going to be the continent versus the Low Countries in England, obviously.
Christendom maintained. The universal monarch is not a failed dream anymore.
No, the dream of the 1490s is alive in Vienna.
Annoyingly, the Palatinate does have British allies, but it looks like the British are caught up in the Glorious Revolution right now, and they've got all sorts of pretenders and rebels going on.
Dutch are invading?
Or not? I'm sorry.
Civil War.
Thing.
They're having a civil war.
Yeah, basically a civil war. Yeah,
so if you're playing Great Britain during this time, at a certain point, does like Cromwell just spawn, and like a certain part of your faction is just turned against you?
I think if you meet a certain amount of conditions, there's a disaster that'll spawn Cromwell, and he'll try to take you out. But if you play well, you can avoid him.
Yeah. Well,
avoid that Cromwell.
as Charles, same for Charles I. If he had played well, he could have avoided it.
True.
It's true. Oh man, he had so many off ramps. It's wild. He basically cut his own head off.
And we are a little low on manpower right now. We have 0, actually.
No, I would call that low.
That's no good.
Yeah, we can still go on. It should be good. What's the worst that could happen?
Where are we taking from? All mercenary troops?
Yeah, we can have some more mercenaries. We've got a few loans right now. We've got
Doesn't count our standing armies too. That we just can't recruit anymore. We got like what 30K there.
Yeah, we can take some more loans. We have our standing army still, so should be fine.
Is it helpful that the Pope is Austrian now to declare war against another major Catholic power?
No, yeah, we'll see if he'll excommunicate.
Oh yeah, can you excommunicate them now?
Oh, I guess since we've moved past the area of the age of religious conflict, that it wouldn't be taken seriously, right? Since we're in the era of like centralizing states and religion being less relevant, people aren't taking the Pope so seriously anymore, right. And excommunications aren't.
Yeah, it doesn't have the juice. You can't get anybody to walk to Canossa anymore.
Yeah, and and the Palatinate not Catholic anyway, so they'd be like, oh, well, yeah, excommunicated. What a shame.
Somebody in the chat says that if you play as England during this period, you can get the 5th monarchists to be in power. And then turn it into like a total millenary theocracy that tries to conquer the world. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool. But that
would inevitably end in them being destroyed. But that, honestly, would have been for the best, as we all
know. We actually grace and favors.
Somebody asked this a while ago in the chat, Matt. But and obviously you're not. We're moving very, very fast, and you're not like hipped in very much to the individual mechanics. But how do the historiosity of this game? How does it impress upon you just in first blush?
Well, they definitely got all of the little territories. That's pretty impressive. They got all the damn They got the counties here.
Yeah,
these are actual counties. Like they got a count. That's pretty cool. So I like the granularity. And it's got all the guys. It's got all your favorite guys showing up and spawning and saying hello. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the gameplay, it totally eludes me. I don't get how any of this is working.
Well, I mean, I'm
kind of been smiling and nodding at the screen.
Well, I'm just impressed every time I hear something like, "Oh, we've moved past the wars of religion, so the Pope's influence is diminished." I'm like, yeah, that's a good mechanic. That's that broadly reflects historical currents,
contours. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've had they've been working on this game for probably over a decade at this point. So there's all sorts of cool like niche historical mechanics and different things meant to simulate actual trends. So it's quite nuanced in a lot of ways.
You have to sacrifice the leaders of neighboring countries when you play as the Aztecs. You have to heap the mandate of heaven by taking tribute from your neighbors as the Ming. They've just been rolling out feature and system after feature after system after launching the initial spreadsheet simulator way back when.
See, another thing that makes me think that they do get this is that they has a mechanic. If you play as the 5th monarchy, England, is that you have to conquer 1,000 provinces within a certain time, or the country, your government just collapses. That's what you get with when the petty bourgeois rule. You get national suicide because they can't handle the contradiction of life, and so they seek their exquisite annihilation.
The Holy Roman Empire actual mechanics are very cool too, because all of these individual provinces, all the different colors, have different leaders, which means they get like higher development and stuff. And then if you're outside of the Holy Roman Empire and you try to take one of them, they just turn around and stomp you. Like they're all like so powerful together, but they are like never fully united either. It's a pretty cool approximation of it, I think.
Now this only goes until like 1820, so there's no way to play a path of unifying Germany here, is there?
Oh no! Check this out. You can actually form German nation. But you can only do it after a certain point in the game. Like I think you have to have nationalism for it.
I mean, I honestly feel like we're on a pathway to forming it much earlier.
Oh
Yeah, if you start as Brandenburg, you can form like Prussia, and then you can form Germany. And
But what about an Austrian-led German nation?
You can do that through the imperial authority. If you keep passing Reichs reforms, eventually you can just force everyone to be your vassal formally, and then eventually just the whole country becomes HRE. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, you can be like an absolute Sun King of the Holy Roman Empire, the Sun Emperor, if you will.
go Charlemagne mode.
I appreciate this, and I want to do this.
All right, that's the long-term goal here.
Yes.
I think we're going to strengthen all our institutions with a splendid little war with France.
Yeah,
All I want to do is create a resplendent world imperial Germany or German-speaking empire, which keeps all of its most fervent minds from Marx to Freud in under its tent, and internally reforms into scientific socialism.
What some people do is they have converters, right, that work between like Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis and Victoria. So there's been people who've played games all the way from like the year 1000 to Victoria, like the Industrial Revolution, and into like Hearts of Iron, which is like 1,000 years of history. Of course, it gets kind of silly after a certain point. Like you've got like the Vikings like making grain factories, but pretty cool.
So like it's a converter in the sense that you can like start in the year 1000 Crusader Kings and then take it up to a certain point and then like basically take all those stats and map it onto the beginning of a game.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or approximate it to the beginning of a game.
The games don't like overlap in their time too much. They kind of are in their own eras, so.
Yeah, when one stops, the other one basically begins. Like this one stops at 1821, and Victoria starts in 1836. So they basically pick up where the other one left off.
That's not a bad idea. Another one I want to play is after we launch my Spanish Civil War series later this year. I'd like to do Hearts of Iron.
Yeah, I've never been too great at Hearts of Iron, to be honest. I've heard Hearts of Iron 4 is more playable, like more accessible than 3 was.
That's the one I've heard is good to play.
We got Hearts of Iron, guys.
Yeah. We do have experts on deck though.
I gotta figure one of you people knows how to do that.
Well, like, based on this play, we'll trust folks from your gaming clan if they want to lead us through some of this stuff.
You can win as the Paum, and you can make Spain into the first Trotskyist socialist worker state. You can actually have like actual existing Trotskyism. Is that the idea? Holy crap! That would if that actually happened in history, the Earth would have cracked in half.
See, this is why we got to get into. This is not to tease too much of our programming, but I'm glad that Matt's jumping up to do the Spanish Civil War thing, because if we spend too much time going straight from 30 Years War to 7 Years War, even though the era is different, it would be too much time in the deep past. We need to take a break, a detour into the 20th century before we spend too much time, dicking around.
Working from both ends of the sausage, and I feel like we could set up a good understanding of where these trends are going to go, and then you could pick them up in the 20th century in Spain and kind of see the contours of everything that went between. And that means that when you go back for the deeper past, you are like oriented.
Part of me is very, very resistant to even discussing projects in public, but I feel like we've got enough confidence on these series at this point to do it. Because another one I was thinking was like, okay, we got a lot of requests. One that people keep bringing up is like, you guys should do this, just the Civil War as its own podcast series. But I'm like, I don't know what we would bring to that would be more interesting than watching, what we already covered in Hell of Presidents and watching Ken Burns' Civil War or whatever. But here's my pitch for you, Matt. Okay, we did mid-16th century or 17th century development of capitalism there. We do mid-18th century with the 7 Years War series. Another thing that would be wildly complicated to wrap our heads around, but maybe we could figure out a way to do it, is talk about world revolution in the mid-19th century and talk about 1848, the Civil War, and the
the
Taiping Rebellion as one unified
a global
moment.
history of the mid 19th century convulsion.
Yes,
like the crisis. That's a great idea.
Crisis on
Paris Commune and stuff
yeah,
too.
even up to the Paris Commune.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earth.
That is when the modern bomb goes off. That's like when the atom is split, when
and that's the birth of socialism and stuff like that. Again, just by watching, it's hard to do all this stuff in the shadow of Duncan because he already did such a masterful job on an insanely complicated thing, which is the 1848. But we would have to
he did an amazing job with that. We would have to like take kind of another angle on it. Like
we would have to go broader and less granular.
Yeah.
But the point would be making the assertion that 1848 and the U.S. Civil War are basically the same thing, or part of the facets of the same thing.
And also in Latin America, like the fucking war, the Triple Alliance, that sees like 90% of the population of Paraguay or something just annihilated.
Yeah. So that's wild that's something that could happen. That's just something that came to me the other day.
Yeah, and then what's so fascinating about that era
just to hit
that,
each century for the last 4 centuries.
That's a very
and then the real cap would have to be doing the 20th century 30 years war of World War I through World War II.
That follows for sure.
Anyway,
right, guys. So
here we go.
Reconquer Silesia.
Excellent.
Put the Palatinate in their place, and now we are perfectly positioned for our assault on France. And I know you mentioned you'd wanted to.
Let's do the opening salvo of France and see just what happens when war were declared.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. They've actually got some Huguenots, noble rebels down here, and so this is actually might be a pretty good time to strike. Let me see if the Russians are willing to help us out yet.
And is Spain going to help?
Spain will help, Bavaria will not, of course.
All right, fine. I really like the idea of a double envelopment.
Yeah, but France is allied with the Poles, so we're going to need some help from Russia probably.
Yeah, we're currying favors with Russia right now, making them indebted to us. So it looks like we will need a bit more time before the Russians are willing to help us out. Probably about a year and a half or so. Let's check out, while we're waiting, let's check out the rest of the world. The Mughals are still going strong. Ming, of course, have totally fallen apart.
Ooh, wow. Last time we looked, it was all one chunk.
Yeah, and they're just gone now.
Oh, wow. The Manchu could not pull it together here. Or wait a minute, no. Where's the Manchu? They're not even here yet.
Yeah, the Manchu kind of did not step up to the plate here. They took,
interesting.
I think they got
Japanese Manchuria up there too.
Oh wow, yeah, I've never seen that before. Huh? Japanese Manchuria. That's
the Japanese are already in Manchuria in the 17th century. Holy shit!
Yeah, they're knocking it out. Yeah.
I don't know. Has the Chinese Empire fallen?
Yeah, the Ming have totally dissolved. These are all warlords here, like the Ning, the Wu.
Wow, a warlord period. They didn't really have this in the 1600s. This is literally like the early 20th century.
Yeah, it came a bit early for them.
Got Spanish Philippines over there that looks like they're pretty angry.
Spanish Philippines are right here.
Oh shit!
And
could we fulfill the mandate of Philip II and convert China to Christianity?
If we played long enough, I mean, I'm sure we could.
Hell yeah, that is on my Oh wait a minute, we're not Spanish. God damn it.
And
I'm just salivating at the prospect.
Yeah, the New World still isn't too exciting. The Spanish, French are up in Canada.
Are the British in the New World yet?
They are not. They actually just them. Oh nope. Jamestown. Look at that. Jamestown is right here, and it's been taken over by reformed zealots. I'm sure that won't end badly.
There's no New England though.
Not that I can
not
see.
really.
Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah, looks like Jamestown is just hanging out right here.
Who's ruling England right now? Who's in charge?
Let's see. Right now it is King George Warwick. Maybe some rebels took over and installed a new dynasty.
Oh wow! Fuck.
Yeah, they've been through some problems.
Is there any way you can look at other countries and just look back in their history to see how can you see the chain of events for other countries?
Here's something I missed. Poland inherited Brandenburg. They inherited the throne.
Prussian Poland.
Yep. No Prussia here. It's just Poland.
Oh no! That was supposed to go the other way. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Looks like Denmark's fighting with someone right now too.
Yeah, Denmark is getting occupied by.
Looks like
Lubeck.
Sweden is destroying them,
Yeah.
taking over.
Ooh, Swedish control both sides of the Öresund.
Oh shit! Sweden is going ham up there.
Yeah, Sweden has been expanding pretty well. Especially since we
I bet they invade Poland if we invade them.
Actually, let's see how they feel
we
about
could try and ally them. Yeah. Ooh,
I guarantee you, we could say, "Hey, Sweden, take the top of Poland."
Partition.
Yeah, I'll start improving relations, but it looks like they consider us a rival right now.
Come on, dude. What's a little Polish partition between friends?
Yeah, they
that's
still
what
haven't
we're going to
forgiven
need
us
the Russians
Gustav,
for.
I suppose.
Russia's a pretty fun gameplay too. You could just make a huge blob and try and attack the HRE or something.
Yeah. And when the game starts, there's still like a bunch of little principalities like Muscovy and Novgorod and all that. So you get to unify Russia and then expand out into the steppes and defeat the Golden Horde and all that. Pretty cool game.
Didn't you tweet the other day, Matt, when we're talking about hordes? I won't mind.
Oh, you gotta go golden.
Yeah.
If they're not golden, get them out of my face.
You can play as the Golden Horde too and make an entire cavalry army and really destroy some people. It's a pretty fun one too.
All right, are we in a position to at least to get war declared with France?
I think we have just enough favors from Russia to get them on board. Next month it should take over.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Oh nope, they're 5,000 ducats in debt, so they don't want to fight now.
Oh, you broke bitches! Get your paper up.
The good news is that we still heavily outnumber the French here. Us and Spain together should be enough.
Baby. Let's carve this turkey.
And yeah, Bavaria's changed their mind
Let's
too.
crack the fucking hexagon.
So I want to summon
end pretensions to Franco civilization. Germanicize France. And fulfill Charlemagne's mandate.
There we go. We found an old document saying that Dauphiné belongs to us.
Yes.
So
guys,
fabricate claim.
At this point in history, barely any people in what is now France spoke French. Okay, we can do this. This is early enough. We can get rid of French as a concept.
Wait, what the hell do they speak?
Oh, regional dialects. Many of the ones in like the Alsace-Lorraine bordering areas spoke German, but then like the Normans spoke like Bretons had their own like Celtic language. The Basques in the Pyrenees.
I think that.
And then there are dialects of French that are like as dissimilar to modern standard French as they are in Italy.
Yeah, I think the language in Occitania persisted for a while too, like until the 19th century.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why they're so anal about monitoring their language now.
Yeah, no, they have the National Language Institute and they have the official pronunciations. They refuse to use newly invented American loanwords for technology. They say, no, we have to have a French version of this. And then they like go into the language factory and pull out some fucking made up bullshit and say, no, this is what a computer is. It's not a computer. It is Le Boulon Russe or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Why does Poland not have anybody here?
Because they're broke. They're broke bitches.
Yeah, Poland got mad at us after we didn't give them any land from the Ottomans and broke the alliance we used to have with them.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Did they join with France?
Did they? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, where they don't have anyone. They're still broke from.
They let me see how many people they have. They've got 60,000 men, so it's a pretty good amount. Hopefully they won't come knocking on our door anytime soon here because we're pretty committed on the French front. Mantua's causing some trouble here too.
Oh, there they are. There's 30,000.
Where are they? Oh, yep, up north here. Hopefully they'll like go in Bavaria first. they can take the punch.
Oh, the French word they made up for computer is ordinateur.
I also like the person in chat pointing out that they will actually say in like our version of Barry Weiss op-eds in France, they'll say like la wokism.
Le wokisme.
Le wokisme.
It is le varys of lokisme. Yeah, no, I'm one of my goals here is just to abolish France as a concept. Just to balkanize the hell out of that.
Yeah, when at the very early start date, France is still pretty splintered between like vassals and such. So you can play like as like Orleans and take over the country basically, or Provence or what are the other ones like?
Yeah, I think
Brittany
England still has like Normandy area if you're in the beginning too.
If we can even get a goal to get like Austrian Marseille, and then split up big other chunks of it.
And of course we give over chunks near the border to Spain for their participation. And then we create a bunch of vassal states, and then we are a machine. A war machine pointed like an arrow at the underbelly of fucking England. And we fucking sink that cursed island once and for all into the North Sea.
I might have underestimated the Poles here. They're pouring in right now.
Oh.
Yep. They've pushed into Silesia.
The Poles are going ham? Shit.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, well, maybe this is a good place to start. This is a cliffhanger because we are pushing into France, and we have underestimated their Polish allies. So our rear is unguarded from the dastardly Pole, even as we were making a bold play to permanently cripple France's position on the continent. So what do you say?
Is this?
It's 1657 right now.
1657.
All right.
This war is continuing. It's now gone on longer than even though we have Westphalia. It's basically been nonstop warfare.
Going pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is. I mean, compared to their actual run, this for Austria. Oh, we're happy.
Oh yeah, much
we
better.
control the Holy Land.
Yeah, seriously, we've got Jerusalem for Christ's sake, and Prague.
Can somebody say? Oh, we control the Palatinate.
Where? No, not the Palatinate. Wittenberg,
Geneva.
Yep, Geneva.
Yeah,
where that nest of Calvinist vipers was laying.
Prots are in disarray.
They're absolutely in shambles.
Somebody says, "Can we get a stats review via the ledger?" Is that something that you?
I forget where it is actually. I want to say it's
bottom right.
Oh, yep, there we go. Yep, country. We can sort by development,
religion.
We don't development-wise. We're still pretty low relative to other powers, although we've beaten up a few of them. Like we beat up the Ottomans, and they're much more developed than we are. Let's see here. What else do people like to see in the ledger? Military, armies. We do have a relatively small army, but I would say they punch above their weight compared to other powers. We're very advanced.
Good thing we don't have to interact with the Mughals.
Yeah. And income comparison. I don't usually. Let me see. Yep, we're pretty wealthy as well. And what else? Trade, we're not going to be too good on.
Russia's looking powerful right now.
Score comparison. What is score comparison?
Well, maybe that's the hope, is that that Russian alliance kicks in and we can get them to declare war on Poland.
Yeah. That would be ideal, but they are pretty deep in debt, so I'm thinking that they.
Can we loan them some money? Fucking
send some of that Spanish silver to Russia.
You can pay off their loans, but we also don't have a ton.
Yeah, they're 5,000 ducats in debt.
Oh, somebody requests from the ledger religions, Catholic provinces versus Protestant.
Yeah. Let's see.
Catholic provinces. Yep. Let me see if I can find that. Whoops. Religions, Catholic. Oh, yep. We are dominating Catholic.
Hell
813 provinces, Protestant 141. So
we are making it
reformed. Pretty good show of it.
Excellent. This was a fantastic run. I'm glad after all these months that we were able to finally put this together. I would be happy to do this again sometime. It might take a little bit of time because I don't know if you can see the boxes behind me, but I'm getting ready to move, so it might be a little bit before I'm set up with a internet system competent enough to handle all this. But we'll do this again sometime.
Yes, I want to see how far we can push it.
Yeah. AEIOU, Austria is destined to rule the world.
AEIOU, baby.
AEIOU.
All right, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I don't know. Listen to Movie Mindset. That's our mini series we've got running now.
Yeah, go for it.
It's good. It's really delightful. Will and Hessa are having a great time doing that. And stay tuned for more history streams. History miniseries. We already teased 2, but they'll be coming later this year, next year, forever until Matt and I die.
Exactly. Just gonna keel over potting.
The one last thing I'll say, the 100 Gex, to the person in the chat, the 100 Gex DJ set was awesome. It ripped. Go see them if you can. Thanks for asking.